Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto trained by Raikage and Killer Bee. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by thetizzler and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Ch1 rewrite. It was a beautiful night in the forests of Fire Country. The pale moonlight illuminated the darkness and gave the area a serene air about it. A serene air that was destroyed when the sound of a tree crashing to the ground rang through the forest and scared the wildlife half to death. Damn it! A tall, muscular man with dark skin and blonde hair screamed as he punched another tree, sending it crashing to the ground. Another dark-skinned man watched from a few feet away, lazily leaning against another tree. We almost went to war, and for what? A goddamn corpse with nothing of value. I told you that you need to stop playing the villain. You need to be more like me and start with the chillin'. Damn it, B. I'm not in the mood for your ridiculous rhyming. You saw it, didn't you? The old man's eyes weren't the eyes of a shinobi past his prime, they had fire in them. The same fire that the fourth had. As the man recalled the events that transpired earlier that night, he broke out in a cold sweat. Are you actually afraid? The only time I've seen you sweat like that is when you're with a dame. B, do you have any idea who the other people in the room were when we received the body of our ambassador's murderer? I've never been one to tell lies. I was checking out the female in the corner with the tattoos under her eyes. That was the head of the Inuzuka clan. The head of every single clan in the Leaf Village minus the Hyuga was in that room with us. They weren't the only ones. The man with the mask who stood next to the Hokage is Kakashi of the Sharingan. Even though he isn't an Uchiha, he's said to be even more proficient in it than some pure-blooded members of the clan. He's also the last living student of the fourth Hokage. If the three legendary Sannin weren't off doing whatever it is they're doing in the world, we probably would have seen them there too. What are you getting at? You defeat ninja of their caliber at the drop of a hat. One-on-one, I have no doubts that I could beat every single person in that room. 2 or 3 of them at the same time? Even that wouldn't be enough to stop me. 4 or more? That starts to be more of an obstacle. All of them at the same time? No one short of my father could handle odds like that. I've done everything I can to be just like him, even pursuing rare bloodlines just as he did, but what use is power if you find yourself with enemies around every corner? My father was invincible, and even he couldn't fight forever. If we had gone to war with the Leaf Village over this, then every single minor village we antagonized over the years would rush to their aid. Soon after that, the other great villages would probably join them as well. It would be us against the world, and the world would win. Even with 2 perfect Jinchuriki on our side, we would be overwhelmed by the combined power of the other villages. You're letting your ego take a big hit. It wasn't your idea to start this shit. It may not have been my idea to try and steal the Byakugan, but I honestly can't say that I wouldn't have tried if I hadn't been busy judging the Chunin exams. Though I can tell you with certainty that if I had, it wouldn't have been such a disgusting plan. Kidnapping a little girl on her birthday, disgraceful. They should have tried to bribe a disgruntled branch member or something. I've made a decision. No more of this antagonistic behavior toward the other villages. We were lucky that this whole situation didn't blow up in our face. Perhaps we can smooth over our relationships with the other villages in time. Dibs on smoothing over relations with the Mist Village. Why? If our intel is right, then the next Mizukage is most likely going to be a woman named Mei Tarimi. She's supposed to be a smoking hot bombshell with real nice boobies. No. But bro. No. Now let's head home before I put you in the iron claw and drag you there. The 2 men went on their way, blissfully unaware that they were about to have a chance encounter that would change their lives. Not far from their current location was a cave that led down into an expansive underground tunnel system. In the depths of these tunnels was a laboratory where an experiment was currently being performed. A young blonde boy with whisker marks on his face was strapped to a table, unconscious and unaware of his current situation. Standing over him was a pale man with evil eyes and a despicable smile. Let's begin, the pale man ordered. He laid down on another table next to the boy, and a young red-haired girl stood in between the tables. Remember, keep the boy's consciousness away from the 9-tailed fox while I'm negotiating with it. I know my damn role, so shut your damn mouth, Orochimaru. The young redhead took one of Orochimaru's hands in hers and did the same for the young boy. The older man fell into a deep sleep, the same as the boy. Success, Orochimaru noted as he stared into the eyes of one of the most powerful creatures in the world. I know you, the beast said from behind its cage. I see my reputation precedes me. Orochimaru bowed respectfully. You are Orochimaru of the Sannin, once comrade to Jiraiya and Tsunade, and the jailer of my jailer. I beg you not to take it personally, Great Fox. It was not my intention to make you a prisoner twofold. My goal is instead to offer you a truce. A truce? Let me guess, you want me to not interfere when you use your disgusting technique to take over this boy's body, in exchange for you setting me free when you are done with him? You are wise indeed, Great Fox. When the boy has matured, I wish to become him, and I can only do that if you permit it. In exchange, when the time comes for me to find a new host, I will set you free. Begone from my sight, you filthy creature. That leaves a period of 3 years that I will be forced to share a body with you. I won't be used as a tool for the petty conflicts of man anymore. Least of all one as short-sighted and disgusting as you. You wound me, Great Fox. I only wish to ally myself with you as we have a common enemy. The Leaf Village has kept you imprisoned for generations. Surely you wish for vengeance? An ally, you say? If you truly wish to be my ally, then do one thing for me. Whatever you wish, Great Fox. Say my name. What? You wish to be my ally, right? The least you can do for an ally is learn his name. Did you even attempt to research my name before you contacted me? I never came across a name in my research. Really? Not even in the valley where I was heralded as a god by the local farmers? Did you even know about that? Did you care about what I once was or only about what I could do for you? Keep your truce. This boy may be weak, but he is a better container than you. He cared enough to ask me my name. Orochimaru was suddenly grabbed by the throat by a tendril of pure chakra. It lifted him off the ground while choking him. For the record, human, my name is Kurama. If you survive this, then remember it. Elsewhere in the young boy's mind, the young girl from before was keeping the boy's consciousness isolated as ordered. This manifested as a small cage that the boy barely fit in. How could you do this to your own family? The young boy questioned through teary eyes. Just because we share the same name doesn't make us family. A disgrace like you that wasn't even born with red hair doesn't deserve to call yourself an Uzumaki. You don't deserve to call yourself a human being. Whatever, lame ass. Just be a good boy and wait for Orochimaru to be done. Heya! A deafening scream of pain rang through the boy's mind, making the red-haired girl jump from the shock. That was Orochimaru. What the fuck happened? The foul-mouthed girl questioned. I don't know, but the young boy said as his body started glowing red. It feels good. He yelled triumphantly as he found the strength to break free of the girl's mental bonds. No fucking way. The girl tried to sever the connection between their minds, but she wasn't fast enough as the boy lunged at her and delivered a devastating punch. Get out of my head! The boy yelled as he punched her with all his might. The force was enough to send her back to her own mind and body, and she even flinched as if she had actually been hit in the real world. Aya! Orochimaru screamed as his body burned with an unnatural crimson fire. Shit! The girl yelled as she grabbed a nearby fire extinguisher. Before she could use it to put her master out, it was snatched away from her by the now awake young boy, his body now covered in a red aura of pure chakra that gave him the strength to break his bonds. Naruto, wait! The girl's plea fell on deaf ears as Naruto swung the invaluable piece of safety equipment right into her stomach. Now get out of my life! A sickening crack told Naruto that he broke some of the girl's ribs with his swing. He looked down at her for a second with pity in his eyes. I'm sorry, Tayuya. Naruto threw the now dented fire extinguisher across the room before making a beeline for the door and jumping through it, splintering the wood into a million pieces. Do me a favor and don't try something like that again. Your body can barely handle the paltry amount of chakra I'm pumping into you as it is. If you compound that with idiotic stunts, then I can't guarantee that you'll last long enough to get us out of here. I'm sorry, Kurama. Don't apologize, just dodge to the left now. Naruto quickly did as ordered and dodged a tranquilizer dart that otherwise would have hit him spot on and possibly knocked him out. Run through him. He's not a true threat. Naruto lunged at the guard and knocked him out of the way with a drop kick. His head hit the wall, and he was knocked out easily. This base is infested with weaklings. Orochimaru overestimated himself and the allure of his offer. He didn't post extra guards in case we escaped. His arrogance is only matched by the Uchiha bastards. Naruto ignored Kurama's boasting and quickly found the exit. He didn't understand how, but Naruto somehow knew where everyone in the base was and was able to take detours and shortcuts out of the way of any guards aside from the first one. When they reached the exit of the cave, Naruto jumped for joy and threw his fist into the air before landing and continuing to run as fast as he could. Don't celebrate just yet. We have to get to the Leaf Village as soon as possible. I have no idea how long Orochimaru will stay burning. I doubt a man such as him would die from such a simple thing as flames, even if they are powered by me. Hold it. There are 3 super strong guys heading this way. Should we go ask them for help? You're right, we should go talk to them. I have a feeling 2 of them will be willing to help considering who they are. What do you mean, Kurama? You and I aren't the only 2 forced into a relationship like this. I'll explain more when we get to them. As Naruto and Kurama rushed to the side of the mystery trio, Orochimaru finally mustered the power to save himself by shedding his skin like a snake. He stared at the burning mound of what used to be his own flesh as his rage started to bubble up from within him. That goddamn fox made a fool of me and no one makes a fool of me. He screamed as he ran toward the cave exit, hoping to find the boy captured by one of his guards. He would have stopped to kill the guard that Naruto had knocked out during his escape, but he was more preoccupied with finding the boy before he got away. He had no idea how fast the boy could travel with the aid of the fox's chakra, and Naruto had a head start. Lucky for Orochimaru, he found Naruto's tracks quick as the boy made no attempt at hiding them. Orochimaru ran the fastest that he had run in a long time to catch up to the boy. Within minutes, Naruto was closing in on the trio he was chasing. He was close enough that he thought he could yell to them, but he was suddenly grabbed around the waist by a white snake. Another white snake roped itself around his mouth, effectively gagging him. You gave me quite the shock when you burned me, Kurama. I expected you to accept my offer instantly. I didn't think you would have such a strong connection to this boy considering what you did to his parents. No matter. Even if I can't take over the boy's body, I still have uses for one of the last Uzumaki. I noticed that you were able to slip by the majority of my guards undetected. It seems my theory about you inheriting powerful sensory abilities was spot on. Naruto, we're close to help. Try to get the snake out of your mouth so you can yell. Naruto started biting into the snake covering his mouth as Orochimaru unceremoniously started dragging him through the forest by his leg. The snake tried to hold on, but Naruto managed to chew all the way through it very quickly, and he yelled as loud as he could. Help me! He screamed before Orochimaru turned around and stepped on the boy's head. There is no help. Now shut your mouth and come quietly. Not far from the current situation, A and B stopped when they heard a faint voice back in the direction they came. Did you just hear something, B? It wasn't very loud, but whatever it was, I think we should check it out. Orochimaru continued to grind Naruto's tiny head into the ground, but he had to stop and jump out of the way when a bolt of lightning came out of nowhere and almost hit him dead center. What now? Orochimaru growled. Into view walked A and B, and Orochimaru's eyes went wide with shock. The raikage and the Jinchuriki of the Eight Tails? Why in the world are they here? Wait, the situation with the failed kidnapping of the Hyuga heiress. The raikage must have chosen to come deal with the fallout himself. Damn it, if they realize who Naruto is, they'll take him for themselves. What's going on here? The raikage questioned. B answered as he flipped through a small book. We've got an S-rank criminal over here. If we take this guy back to the Leaf Village, our relationship with them will be in the clear. S-rank criminal? Orochimaru of the Sannin with a heart ice cold. It says right here that he's worth my weight in gold. What in the world is he rhyming for? Orochimaru thought. This guy is so cool. He says everything in rhyme. Naruto thought. Inside his mind, Kurama slammed his head into the bars of his cage. Is this really your partner, Gyuki? At least mine has the excuse of being a little kid. Suddenly Naruto was set free when B cut the snake that was holding him with a small sword. B offered Naruto his hand, and as soon as the two touched, Naruto understood what Kurama meant earlier. You're just like me. You have an animal friend inside you too. Bro, this kid is a Jinchuriki. B yelled, too surprised to rhyme for once. What? The raikage yelled in surprise. Orochimaru looked back and forth between the two men. He knew he was no match for the two of them at the same time. One-on-one maybe, but the two men were known as one of the deadliest duos in the world. Orochimaru weighed his options carefully. He could quickly slip away while they were preoccupied with the boy, or he could stay and fight for his prize. Orochimaru was never one for gambling, unlike a certain ex-teammate of his, so he decided to cut his losses and leave. The loss of the boy wasn't devastating anyway. He had other Uzumaki, and the nine-tailed fox wasn't willing to cooperate like he originally thought it would. Orochimaru backed up against a tree and his body almost melted into it, and he disappeared from sight. What the hell? The raikage said as he watched Orochimaru disappear. He ran over and destroyed the tree with a mighty punch, but it was in vain. He stayed on guard for a few seconds, but Naruto put him at ease. Don't worry, he's long gone. I can tell, Naruto said happily. You can sense his chakra? I guess so. I've always just been able to tell where people are by concentrating. I can even tell how they feel sometimes. Those are impressive skills, kid. What's your name and how old are you? My name is Naruto Uzumaki and I'm 7 years old, sir. Uzumaki? Come here for a second. A motion for his brother to come over, and he did. The two huddled together. He's the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, isn't he? Yeah. The last Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails was an Uzumaki too, wasn't she? Yeah. The same girl that my father tried to kidnap from the Leaf Village, right? Yeah. That means this kid is most likely that woman's son, right? Yeah. We may not be able to bring them the criminal Orochimaru, but if we bring them back their Jinchuriki, then it would go a long way to repairing our relationship with the Leaf. Yeah, let's take him home. Maybe afterward, I can find that sexy Inuzuka woman and throw her my bone. No. But bro. No. A and B were surprised when they heard Naruto speak up. What is it, kid? A asked. This guy over here is like me, right? Yep, I'm the container of number 8. I got so much power that all the villains hate. Could you train me? Come again? The raikage asked. I want you to train me. Kurama says that if I want to be strong then I should follow you and train to master his power like you did for Gyuki. We aren't from your village, kid. If you come with us that means you can't go back to your old village anymore. Kurama already explained that to me. Look, I never want someone like that guy to hurt me ever again. Even if it means that I can't see the old man Hokage anymore, or my friend who buys me ramen, I have to become stronger. Please! Naruto dropped to his knees and started crying. A and B were stuck between a rock and a hard place. Listen, kid, our villages aren't on good terms right now. They'll get even madder at us when they find out we took you with us instead of returning you. Please! You're my best chance to become stronger. I'll tell them that it was my idea, just please take me with you. Naruto continued to sob. Eventually the raikage got tired of it. God damn it, fine. He picked up Naruto and slung him over his shoulder. Don't get comfortable over there, kid. If I have to, I'll ship you back to the Leaf Village in a heartbeat if it means avoiding a war. The war never came. When news reached the Leaf Village that their Jinchuriki was alive and well in the Cloud Village, many of the more militant-minded shinobi demanded that he be returned. The Hokage might have been persuaded by these voices had it not been for the input of one of his students. Did you see the boy? The Hokage asked his student, the legendary Jiraiya of the Sannin, who had just come back from an unexpected and unknown visit to the Cloud Village. Yeah, he started living with the Jinchuriki of the Two Tails. She's a pretty young thing with good maternal instincts. She treats him like her own son. Did you make yourself known to him? No, and sensei, I have no intention of going back for him. What? Explain yourself, Jiraiya. Here he was treated as a pariah for his connection to the nine-tailed fox. In the Cloud Village, the exploits of Killer Bee and Yujitoni have lessened the negative image the populace has of Jinchuriki, even if only a little. The Cloud Village is honestly the best place for him right now. You would put your godson's needs over the village? Yes, I would, and I know you feel the same way I do even if you can't admit it. Tell the elders that you ordered me to retrieve the boy and I refused. They won't have the guts to do anything about it. I'm still the greatest spy in the village, and they still need me. Very well, Jiraiya. I will defer to your judgment on this matter. What will you do now? I'm going to fix the mistake you made all those years ago. I'm going to find Orochimaru and end him. Unaware of the conversation about him taking place a world away, Naruto was currently trying and failing to perform his first jutsu. The clone jutsu was one of the most basic jutsu in the ninja world. Why then could Naruto not perform it? He was interrupted when a familiar face came, bearing gifts. Yo! Killer Bee yelled from afar, holding a pair of scrolls in each hand. I brought some scrolls that belong to your clan. Use them to make your ninja style a bit less bland. Thanks, Bee-sensei. Naruto grabbed one of the scrolls and opened it. He stared at it intensely for a few seconds before hanging his head in shame. I forgot that I can't read. It's cool, little brother. Reading for you won't be a bother. Bee took the scroll from Naruto and began reading it for him. Shadow Clone Jutsu? Ch2 rewrite. Oh yeah, right there, Naruto mumbled in his sleep. A few feet away, a young dark-skinned boy with white hair, a lollipop in his mouth, and a Cloud Village headband sat on a log and sharpened a katana. Another one of those dreams. The boy thought. Wait, no! Naruto started shifting around in his sleeping bag, obviously terrified of the direction his dream took. Ororoki Naruto was snapped out of his dream when his friend ran over and slapped him awake. Naruto looked around in a panic but calmed down when he noticed the other boy. That sounded like a bad one, Naruto. Thanks, Oma. It wasn't as bad as they used to be. I'm more annoyed that it interrupted a good dream. I was this awesome martial artist that was trained by gods and had this badass warrior princess wife. Oh, and I could wear orange without people giving me shit for it. That was the best part. Anyway, I was with my badass wife when that guy showed up again. Naruto hung his head low and Omoi put an understanding hand on his shoulder. We're pretty close to where you escaped, aren't we? Yeah, I was lucky that B-sensei and the raikage were there. If they hadn't been, Sis and Karu are coming back. Don't mention my nightmare. I don't want Sis to worry. Omoi went back to sharpening his blade and Naruto started packing up his sleeping bag just as two girls walked into the clearing. One was a dark-skinned girl around Naruto's age with striking red hair. The other was a beautiful blonde in her early 20s. About time you woke up, Sleeping Beauty. Hey sis. Did you and Karu go fill up on water or something? Yeah, here's your canteen. The older kunoichi tossed the container to Naruto and he grabbed it, using a little bit of the water to start brushing his teeth. Yujuto-sensei, how much longer until we get to the Leaf Village? Omoi asked as he gave his sword a final wipe down and sheathed it. Not much longer. We can get there by this afternoon if we really hustle. Then let's hustle, Naruto exclaimed right as he finished his morning hygiene ritual. Chunin exams, here we come. I can't wait to prove myself against some strong competition. How could Naruto know that at that exact moment some of the strongest genin in the Leaf Village were hoping for the same thing? The Chunin exam starts soon. We should be seeing foreigners in the village within the next few days, a teenage boy with pale eyes said, as he meditated under a tree. I know what you're thinking, Niji. Promise me that you'll play nice if any Cloud Village shinobi show up. A cute girl with hair buns said. She nonchalantly tossed the kunai into the tree by his face but received no reaction. Tenten is right, my friend. Your grudge against them is valid, but it is important to keep one's emotions in check when undergoing a trial as difficult as the Chunin exams. A boy in a green spandex and huge eyebrows said. Lee, Tenten, your concern is touching, but I am not a man who loses control easily. If any Cloud shinobi do appear, I shall conduct myself as is fitting for a Hyuga. In a nearby training ground, another group of genin were standing around. This group consisted of a girl with the same pale eyes as the boy from earlier, a boy in a gray hoodie with a dog on his head, and an intimidating guy with dark sunglasses on. I wonder what Kurenai-sensei wants to talk to us about. What do you think, Shino? The guy with the dog asked the sunglasses-wearing boy. The Chunin exams are soon. Perhaps she thinks we are worthy of competing. CH Chunin exams? Are we truly ready for that? Of course you three are ready. They all turned to see their sensei had just arrived behind them. Kurenai-sensei. All three kids shouted before running up to the woman. So SH Shino was right? We are really gonna take the Chunin exams? Yes, Hinata. You all have the chance to take the exams. You have a choice though. If you feel you aren't ready, no one can force you to come. However, just know that I feel all three of you are ready and fully capable of making Chunin. Yahoo! I can't wait to kick some serious tail. Although I don't share Kiba's enthusiasm, I too believe this is an excellent opportunity for us. Why? Because being allowed to take the Chunin exams so soon into one's career is quite rare. The female of the three just stood there silently contemplating what she should do. If I take the Chunin exams, I could get stronger, but what if I fail? Deciding that she wanted some time to herself to think, Hinata excused herself. She retreated to an alley within the village where she promised to meet one of her friends in an hour. Said friend was waiting at another training grounds. This pink-haired girl was pacing around, visibly angry. To her right were three training logs that her teammates were sitting next to. They were both dark-haired boys, but one of them was pale as a ghost. The pale one was scribbling in a notebook while the other one just waited patiently. I am so sick of this shit, the pink-haired girl said. The more you think about it, the slower time seems to pass. You should sit back and just relax, Sakura, the artist of the group said. No, Sai. This was supposed to be our day off. I had plans to spend the day with Ino and Hinata, and I'll be damned if Kakashi-sensei makes me late. There are worse things to be late for. Your period, for example. Although Sasuke refuses to go out with you, so the chances of that are rather low. About 10 seconds later, their Jonin-sensei Kakashi Hatake arrived to find an angry Sakura standing above an unconscious Sai. The lump on Sai's head looks a lot bigger than usual. You've been keeping up with the weight training regimen I put you on. I'm proud of you, the silver-haired, mask-wearing man said, peeking over a small orange book. You. Where were you this whole time? Reading porn again? Sakura, you don't read porn. You read smut. Kakashi had a little laugh while scratching the back of his head, but he only made the young kunoichi angrier. Not funny? Well, if I say that I recommended you for the Chunin exams, will you forgive me? Back in town, another genin squad was getting the same good news as they ate in a barbecue restaurant. Troublesome, a pineapple-haired youth mumbled. What do you mean, troublesome? We get to take the Chunin exams our first year of being genin. Do you have any idea how rare that is, Shikamaru? A blonde-haired beauty questioned. Yes, I do. That doesn't make it any less troublesome, Ino. Will there be food? A rather large child asked. Damn it, Choji, there's more to life than just food, Ino yelled. The three genin's Jonin instructor Asuma just laughed at the three's antics. What's so funny, Asuma? The loud-mouthed female of the group asked. You three just remind me of my old team when I was your age. Suddenly Ino jumped out of her seat. That reminds me, I made a promise to Forehead Girl and Hinata to meet for a girl's day out. I should go find them. She left and the boys had a little chuckle at her affectionate nickname for her best friend. You would think she would have dropped the nickname when she and Sakura got over their stupid fight over Sasuke, Choji said between bites of food. About a year ago, Ino and Sakura had run into each other on their way to the academy. Every time this happened, they would race to class with the winner getting the right to sit next to Sasuke. This day happened to be a draw, so after she caught her breath, Sakura turned to Ino intent on arguing about who got to sit next to Sasuke. To Sakura's surprise, Ino wasn't paying attention to her. Her gaze was fixed on a student that Sakura had never seen before. Ino blushed a light pink and stared at the mysterious pale boy as he drew on a sketch pad. Ino? Are we gonna decide who gets to sit next to Sasuke? What about the sauce is gay? Ino? When Ino noticed another girl was about to sit next to the new boy, she ran at top speed and cut her off. She glared at her with an evil eye, silently claiming this newbie for herself. Forehead can have Sasuke. This guy is way cuter. Ino sat down and introduced herself with a blush. Sakura, meanwhile, strolled over to Sasuke and claimed the seat next to him. Today is gonna be a good day, both girls thought. Back in the present, Sakura and Hinata had already met up after their respective team meetings and were walking to the ice cream shop they planned to meet up at. Can you believe it, Hinata? We get to take the Chunin exams already. I can't wait to get out there and show off how kick-ass I am. I don't know if I'm ready for the Chunin exams. Sakura looked at her depressed friend with a look of genuine concern on her face. Hinata, you're a great ninja, you just need confidence. I am sorry. Don't apologize. This is what I'm talking about. You need to get angry. Get some passion in your life. The reason me and Ino are such badasses is because we give it our all to impress our boys. As Sakura, Sasuke and Sai aren't your and Ino's b-boyfriends, so why do you call them your boys? Hey, they might not be ours right now, but one day we'll convince those two idiots. I bet if you had a crush you'd get stronger to impress him too. What about those teammates of yours? Kiba's kind of cute, I guess. I don't like Kiba and Shino like that. They have Jigo friends anyway. What? Both of them? I can kinda see Kiba with a girl, but Shino? Why yes, Kiba is dating an intern at his F family's animal shelter and Shino is dating Kiba's girlfriend's sister. Oh, so Kiba hooked his friend up. I guess that makes sense. Well, there has to be a guy we can hook you up with. Hey, forehead girl. Hinata! I know that screech of a voice anywhere. The two girls turned around to find Ino running toward them. I'm sorry I'm late. Asuma took us out to eat in celebration of being chosen to take the Chunin exams. Oh, you too? Me and Hinata had our teams nominated as well. That's awesome. Anyway, what were you two just talking about? The three girls start walking towards their favorite ice cream shop. We were talking about how Hinata needs to get her a man. Sakura. It's true and you know it. Oh, any interesting names come up? Well, as it turns out, she can't date her teammates since they're already dating some civilian girls. Oh, that's too bad. Hinata's face starts getting noticeably redder the more the two girls openly talk about her lack of a love life. Sheesh, Hinata, have you ever even liked a guy? Ino asked with a legitimate curiosity. Well, there was one boy a long time ago. Oh, tell us about him. Ino and Sakura said at the same time. I don't know his name, but he was always protecting the kids at the playground I used to go to from bullies. He even saved me from getting beat up once. I always wanted to talk to him, but I was too shy. I never managed to even ask his name, and none of the other kids knew it. I followed him once to see where he lived, and he went to an orphanage. I think he got adopted because I haven't seen him in years. What did this guy look like? Sakura asked, curious to know more about her friend's only crush. He had spiky blonde hair and birthmarks that looked kinda like whiskers on his face. You mean like that guy up ahead? What? Up ahead of them, entering their favorite ice cream shop, was a group of 4 foreign ninja. The tallest one was a blonde-haired female, and most likely the Jonin sensei of the 3 shorter kids. The other 3 were a dark-skinned boy with a lollipop in his mouth, a dark-skinned girl with fiery red hair, and a slightly shorter than the rest blonde-haired boy with whisker-like marks on his face and a bright orange tracksuit. The 4 ninja walked in, and the girls who were watching the scene from afar were stunned. They were just talking about Hinata's only crush, and here they find a boy that looks exactly like him. Could it have been him, you think, forehead girl? Why are you asking me, no pig? Hinata? Was that him? I think maybe. But those were CL Cloud Ninja. Why would a b-boy from our village be a CL Cloud Ninja? You said he was an orphan. Maybe he was adopted by someone who lived in the Lightning Country? Sakura stated in a know-it-all tone. Why don't we find out, girls? With a devilish grin, Ino grabs Sakura and Hinata by the hand and drags them into the ice cream shop. Why did it have to be the Cloud Village? Were Hinata's only thoughts as she was dragged into the shop behind what could possibly be the man of her dreams. After the girls step into the ice cream shop, a man in an umbu mask steps out from the shadows of a nearby alley. The legacy of the fourth has returned and it appears he has an admirer. I must inform Lord Danzo immediately. With his new information, the umbu vanishes in a swirl of leaves. Ch3 rewrite. As the three girls walked into the ice cream shop, they made their way to a table close enough to hear the Cloud Group's conversation, but far enough they could still whisper and be unheard. Ino made sure the table was behind Naruto so that he hopefully would not notice Hinata staring at him. What's up with all these foreigners? I've seen a few more walking around the village today. Are they all here for the Chunin exams? Ino asked no one in particular. They must be Ino Pig. Why else would there be so many ninja from so many different villages in one place? Sakura answered back. While Ino and Sakura whispered about the ninja in the shop, Hinata had her eyes glued to the back of Naruto's head as he talked among his group. Yo big sis, what are you gonna get me as a gift when I pass this exam with flying colors? Said Blonde asked the older blonde. If you pass the exam I might consider giving you back those books of yours I took when you were 10. Ah. I can finally get back my Ika books. Thanks sis. The three girls each had very different responses to this information. He reads those nasty little porn books, like Kakashi-sensei. I already don't like this guy. What an amateur getting caught with those books. I've had them since I was 8, and my parents still don't know about them. He reads Ika T2? Neither of the two groups noticed when a third trio of genin entered the shop. They were all Rain Village genin, wearing wetsuits and breathing apparatuses. That's him, isn't it? The Jinchuriki that Lord Pain wants us to observe. One of the three Rain Village genin whispered to his comrades. Yeah. The Jinchuriki of the 9 and 1 tails are still young and their skill sets are relatively unknown. Our mission is to observe them and determine their threat level. How do we do that, boss? Lord Pain wants us to fight him if possible. I've got an idea to bait him, follow my lead. The three Rain genin walked over to the girls and their leader leaned on their table with one arm. Well, what do we have here? Who knew such a backwater village like this could have such pretty little ladies? Why don't you three girls come with me and my boys here and show us a good time? The leader said in an egotistical tone. As if freak show, get out of here before I kick that stupid face right off your shoulders. Oh, I like it when little girls get angry. Why don't you try it, Pinky, and see what happens? As Sakura made to punch him, Hinata and Ino grabbed her fist to prevent her from striking. Sakura, if you hit him you could get in trouble and be kicked out of the Chunin exams. Ino is right, as Sakura. Please calm down. Sakura calmed down a little, but she started staring daggers at the three ninja in front of them. Oh, where did all that fire go, Pinky? Too much of a coward to fight, BA. Lariat. All of a sudden an orange flash collided with the Rain ninja and sent him flying into the wall. The orange flash was none other than a very angry Naruto. You. I hate people who bully others like you. You have one chance to get the hell out of here before I wipe the floor with you and your two freaky little cronies. Said cronies were scrambling to pick up their fallen comrade. What the hell was that? This idiot just got knocked the fuck out is what happened. Pick his dumb ass up and let's get out of here. The two genin picked up their leader and ran out as fast as they could. With those idiots gone, Naruto turned to the three girls with a big grin plastered on his face. Sorry you three had to see that. It really gets my blood boiling when people act like that. Naruto then held out his hand to the three girls who were still shocked at the display of strength they just saw. They soon snapped out of it, and one by one shook his hand and introduced themselves. Thanks for that. My name is Sakura Haruno. I'm a genin for the village. Hi, my name is Ino Yamanaka and I'm the heir to the Yamanaka clan. Hi. And my name is Hinata Hyuga. Hinata turned almost tomato red when her hand made contact with Naruto's. She let it stay on his for a while until Naruto broke contact. I'm the hero Naruto Uzumaki. At your service. Hero? Sakura and Ino asked at the same time. Yep. I'm a wicked cool hero who goes around and beats up all the bad guys. Just last month I stomped some evil rich guy who was using rogue ninja to oppress a fishing village in the land of waves. They even named a bridge after me. Naruto, no one wants to hear about your past missions, Karui said as she and the rest of the group walked up. I'll see about having those Rain genin punished. Behavior like that is unacceptable, Yujito said. Oh, this is my team by the way. The blonde one is my big sis Yujito, the angry one is my teammate Karui, and the guy with the candy is Omo. What you call me, punk? Karui, calm down. If you beat up Naruto now, he won't be in top shape for the Chunin exams and we'll all die. Bah! I could pass the Chunin exams without you two idiots. As Karui and Omo bickered, Naruto and Yujito offered to let the three girls join them, to which they all agreed to. After they all sat down, Yujito started talking to the younger girls. So are any of you girls going to take the Chunin exams this year? You bet. All three of us are gonna take it and kick some serious ass. Oh, are you three girls on the same team? No. Good thing too. I don't know if I could last if I had to spend more than a few hours with Ino Pig. Right back at you, forehead girl. Yujito had a laugh at the two girls' playful banter but noticed Hinata was visibly nervous and not talking to anyone. She was also taking occasional glances at Naruto and blushing ever so slightly. Could that one be attracted to him? No way. A Hyuga of all people must hate the Cloud after the kidnapping attempt. Her forehead is clear too, so she must be a main branch. Her thoughts were interrupted as their ice cream finally arrived. The group continued to have small talk for a while until Yujito said they had to get to their hotel soon and bid the girls farewell. As soon as they were out of earshot, the girls started to talk among themselves. Hinata, do you think that guy was him? Was he the same boy from when you were younger? I think so, Ino. So what do you think? Are you gonna ask him out or what? No. Why not? Father hates the CL Cloud. If he knew about me eating with Sosam, he'd be very angry. Why does he hate the Cloud so much? Ino and Sakura both asked. I don't know. All I remember is that something bad happened when I was 5 with the CL Cloud ninja. I don't remember what happened exactly, but ever since then Father forbids me from being near Cloud Ninja. Screw that. If you like someone, to hell with what your dad thinks. Hinata sat silent for a while Ino and Sakura just looked at her. Should be getting home and now. Hinata ran off and left Sakura and Ino in the shop with sad looks on their faces. Meanwhile, Naruto and his team made their way to the hotel. They were walking down an alleyway, Karui and Omo bickering about some nonsense while Naruto was talking to his big sis. Those three girls were really cute. I think the Hyuga kind of liked me. I noticed that too. She kept blushing at you. Yeah, I could feel really warm chakra coming from her. I like people with warm chakra. Do you think I might be able to be friends with her sis? I don't know, Naruto. After the kidnapping attempt all those years ago, I'm surprised she doesn't hate you for simply being a Cloud Ninja. But we imprisoned the guy responsible for that, didn't we? Yes, but not before he convinced the Hyuga to hand over the body of the man who killed the kidnapper. The idiot thought that he could get the Byakugan that way. They just put a seal on the man to keep his Byakugan from being analyzed. By the time the raikage returned from his trip to the Chunin exams that year, it was already too late for him to do anything. He was at least able to imprison the mastermind, but the gesture wasn't enough, and we haven't been on good terms with the people of this village since. Well, if the people here don't like us, I'll just have to make them like us. It'll be good practice for when I become raikage anyway. Hey, don't get ahead of yourself, kid. You still gotta pass the Chunin exams before you even consider becoming raikage. Bring it on. I'll pass this exam with flying colors and be one step closer to my dream. Yujito was smiling at her little brother's enthusiasm. They soon reached their destination and took up residence in their rooms. The boys were in one room while the girls were in the room next to them. In the boys' room, Omo was sitting at a table reading the newspaper while Naruto was laying on one of the two beds. Yo, Omo, what do you say we go walking around some more? I don't feel like sitting around in this room all day. Yujito-sensei said to stay here. If we don't listen to her, she'll get mad at us, and then she'll use her crazy fire powers to burn us to a crisp and we won't be able to take the exam. You worry too much. Sis wouldn't do that. Suddenly Naruto sat up and looked toward the window. What is it, Naruto? Just an old friend. Tell sis not to wait up. And with that, Naruto opened the window and jumped out. Oma looked out the window to see Naruto talking to a leaf ninja. He was a tan man with a scar running across his nose. The two talked for a few seconds, then walked off together. Yujito-sensei is gonna be pissed. Naruto and his old friend headed to a small ramen stand called Ichiraku Ramen. It had been a pretty slow day at Ichiraku Ramen until one blonde knucklehead and his older friend walked into the stand. The owner of the stand turned around to greet them as he did all the customers, but stopped himself when he saw that familiar spiky yellow head. Naruto? Is that you, Naruto? Tuchi. I haven't seen you in years. Naruto, I never thought I'd see you again after I heard you became a Cloud Ninja. I'm in town to take the Chunin exams. I'll be here for a while and I plan on eating my fill of your delicious ramen. That's good to hear. You and Iruka were my best customers all that time ago. Naruto and Iruka sat down and ordered their ramen. As Tuchi prepared it, the two old friends started catching up. So Iruka, how have things been here in the village? It's not the same without you here pulling pranks all the time. It's really boring. Speaking of pranks, have you pulled any good ones in the Cloud Village? Well, my big sis is pretty good at catching me before I manage to pull off the big ones. Big sis? Yeah, I was taken in by another one of Killer Bee's students. Her name is Yujito. She's really nice. She's also single. Naruto said that last part with a devilish smirk. Irika started blushing. Why'd you bring that up? Oh, no reason. How's your love life, Irika? That's none of your business. Oh, so you're single too? You should go out with my big sis then. Irika was blushing like mad and tried to hide it by devouring his ramen. Naruto was laughing his head off and Tucci was smiling at the antics of his two favorite customers. After the two finished eating their ramen, Irika paid their bill and they started to walk together. The village still looks the same as it did all of those years ago. Yeah, not much has changed. You know the Hokage would really like to see you, Naruto. I figured as much. Tell him I'll go see him later tonight. My big sis wanted to talk to him too. What does she want to discuss with him? She wants to chew him out for letting me be kidnapped by Orochimaru all those years ago. Oh. Silence fell over the two as they walked. I don't blame anybody in the village for that, Irika. Killer Bee taught me how to let go of my hate a long time ago. That's good to hear. This village is full of good people, Naruto. Just because they fear what they don't understand doesn't make them. Naruto. Both men looked up to see a very angry Yujito staring down at them from the rooftops. Oh crap. Is that who I think it is, Naruto? Yep, that's my big sis. Yujito jumped down and grabbed Naruto by his ear. I told you not to leave the hotel room. Sis, I was just getting ramen with an old friend. I don't care. I'm gonna kick your ass, you insubordinate little idiot. Irika cleared his throat to try to get Yujito's attention. Sadly for him, it worked. Who the hell do you think you are, taking my little brother off to God knows where? My name is Irika. I was a very good friend of Naruto's before he left the village. I was just taking him out for some ramen. I'm sorry for not asking your permission first, ma'am. I promise it won't happen again. Yujito started to calm down a little after hearing Irika talk. It better not. For your sake as much as his. She lets go of Naruto's ear. Ow. My poor ear. Naruto said, getting a few tears in his eyes from the stinging pain. I apologize for worrying you, miss. Naruto started to compose himself and decided to introduce the two. Sis, this is the man I told you about. He was one of the few people in the village who was nice to me when I was a kid. Irika, this is my big sis Yujito. It's a pleasure to meet you, Irika said as he offered his hand. Likewise. Yujito took his hand and shook it. Big sis, Irika is single too, so you and him should go out sometime. Both adults blushed like crazy. Naruto! They both yelled. What? Weren't you complaining about how you can't get laid, not long before we came here? Ah. The things I talk about with my friends in the privacy of my house aren't things you should be listening to, or repeating, you little brat. I can't help it if you and your friends get loud when you drink. Yujito was blushing at a level that would rival Hinata. Irika decided to take this opportunity to speak up. Miss Yujito? Why, yes? If you don't mind, I would like to spend some time talking to you. Not as a date exactly, but I'd like to know more about the person who is taking care of my little friend. What say you and I meet up in the morning and go to me and Naruto's favorite ramen stand? Make it an ice cream shop and you have a deal. Ice cream it is then. I'll see you in the morning. I have to go see the Hokage now. Naruto informed me that you and him plan on seeing him tonight, and I should let him know. Irika jumped away on the rooftops, leaving Naruto and Yujito alone. You got a date, sis. Good for you. Naruto exclaimed with a big grin. It's not a date, brat. You aren't off the hook either. You're getting some serious punishment later. Yujito grabbed Naruto by the ear and started dragging him toward their hotel. For rewrite. Here it is, sis. The Hokage's room is at the very top. Naruto explained to his sister as they arrived at the Hokage's tower right as the sun began descending into the horizon. They walked in and were welcomed by a lady sitting at the front desk. She was expecting them and told them that the Hokage was waiting in his office. As they made their way to the top, Yujito took the opportunity to talk to Naruto about what she wanted to do. Naruto, I'll go in first so I can tell this old bastard what I think about him. You wait outside and when I'm done I'll let you in. He may ask to talk to you alone. I'll let you decide if you want me to leave the room or not. Yeah, I expected that. Naruto most certainly did not want to be in the same room with his sister while she was telling off the Hokage. Naruto had seen Yujito truly enraged only once in his life when he was caught peeping on some girls in a hot spring. He never wanted to relive that experience again. They finally arrived at the Hokage's office and Yujito knocked on the door. Come in, said an elderly voice from the other side. Yujito opened the door and walked in. Naruto sat on a couch just outside the door and waited for Yujito to come get him. He knew that if the Hokage didn't activate a privacy seal then Yujito would, so trying to eavesdrop would be pointless. He sat for a good 5 minutes until the door finally opened and Yujito walked out. Okay, Naruto. You can come in now. Naruto got off of the couch and walked into the room only to be stunned at what he saw inside. The Hokage was sitting in a comfy chair and laying in front of him was a mass of splintered wood and broken table limbs. Sis, did you? I got a little excited. Don't worry about the table. I know a ninja who is exceptionally skilled at making wooden furniture, the old man said without a hint of fear or anger in his voice. Naruto was shocked at the Hokage's calm demeanor but quickly composed himself. It's good to see you again, old man. How have things been in the village without me? The Hokage cracked a small smile. Things have been quiet without you, to say the least. I no longer have Irika coming into my office every week complaining about you pulling some crazy prank. Teehee, those were good times. For the most part anyway. Naruto, if it's okay with you and your guardian, I would like to speak with you in private. Yeah, I thought so. Naruto turned to his sister and told her to wait outside. She paused for a brief second to ruffle his hair before leaving the room. You've found someone very special to look after you, Naruto. I am very happy for you, the old man said with a smile. Yeah, I don't know what I would do without Big Sis. She's the best, even if she is a little overprotective. Naruto looked down at the splintered mass of wood in between him and the Hokage, but the old man merely laughed. In truth, when she came in here with such anger, I was beyond happy. It reminded me a bit of how Irika used to storm in here whenever you got in trouble for something. Haha, so you noticed it too, huh? I was planning on hooking those two up while we're here. Most guys back home are giant wusses who get intimidated by Sis real easily. Oh, my lips are sealed. Don't tell Irika I said this, but that man desperately needs to be intimate with someone. I've been kind of worried about him lately. He's been helping get the exams ready on top of his usual workload as an instructor. He's been very stressed out, though he is an expert at hiding it. Don't worry about it. I've already set them up for a date tomorrow. If all goes well, then well, you know. Excellent. I hope those two hit it off. How is your training going? Well, that's part of the reason I agreed to come talk to you. I hit a wall with my training and I need your help to get over it. Let me guess. You need the key to the seal? You already knew? I am well aware of the process you must go through to become a true Jinchuriki like Master B. I helped the Jinchuriki before you achieve that level. You mean my mom? The third dropped his pipe in shock. How did you know? Oh boy, do I have a story to tell you. Naruto began recounting the events of a training exercise that B and Yujito made him go through a few years after he came to the Cloud Village. How is this supposed to help me control Kurama's chakra? Naruto asked as he watched B meditating in his personal training grounds. It's important for a Jinchuriki to always be in control of their emotions. The best ways to do that are either meditation or grabbing the lotion. B. Yujito yelled at him from beside Naruto. I don't get it, sis? What about lotion can help you get your emotions in control? You don't need to worry about that right now, Naruto. B. Don't tell him stuff like that. I'm only telling him the truth. Eventually he'll learn lotion's true use. A few minutes later, as B laid a few feet away unconscious, Yujito began instructing Naruto on the art of meditation. It sounds boring. Can you teach me how to turn into a giant like you can, sis? You're a couple of years too early to even be thinking about that technique, kiddo. If you ever want to use all of the cool Jinchuriki abilities that I know, then the first step is mastering this. Naruto pouted, but he listened to his sister and sat down with his legs crossed. Take deep breaths and try to empty your mind. It may take a while, but Naruto? Something was strange. She expected Naruto to have a lot more trouble than this with meditation. She poked his shoulder but received no response. She knew he wasn't asleep because he had a habit of snoring, so he must have been drawn inside of his own mindscape somehow. Is it Kurama? No, it can't be. Kurama and Naruto can communicate without Naruto needing to be drawn into his mind. Then what is it? What are you doing here, Naruto? I'm trying to get some sleep. I thought you called me. Sis was teaching me how to meditate when I just sort of got sucked in here. That doesn't make any sense. If I didn't call you here, then I thought I sensed something strange about the seal. I should have expected something like this from you, Kushina. Kushina? Naruto repeated as he felt a warm hand on his shoulder. He turned around and came face to face with a beautiful red-haired woman in a green dress. You would know her as Mother, Kurama explained as he turned his back to the loving scene unfolding outside his cage. My baby, Kushina whispered as she hugged Naruto gently. Naruto returned the embrace with tears in his eyes. I don't understand how? I poured some of my spirit into your seal so that I could meet you. I intended it as a fail-safe in case Kurama went mad again, but it seems that he's returned to his original state of mind. How could you speak about it so plainly? What I did to you was unforgivable. What are you talking about, mommy? Naruto, it all started the night you were born. That was the night that the masked man appeared. Masked man? The third asked back in the present day. I never knew about any masked man. I was under the impression that your mother's seal broke under the stress of childbirth. I know. Apparently this guy showed up right after I was born and used me as a hostage. My dad fought him off, but he managed to release Kurama and hypnotize him with a genjutsu. That's why he attacked the village. I had my suspicions of the attack, but this is troubling. What kind of genjutsu was it? It would need to be one of incredible power to hypnotize a tailed beast. Naruto? Sharingan. It was a Sharingan that hypnotized Kurama. I see. Please go on with your story. Okay, after she explained everything about the night that I was born, I was really mad about a couple of things. You killed my parents. Naruto stared at Kurama's back, speechless. Baby, you shouldn't blame him for that. He wasn't himself. Stop, just stop. Stop making excuses for me. It wasn't the genjutsu. I was freed from the genjutsu during my fight with Minato and Gamabunta. When I killed you two, I knew what I was doing. I finally had a chance at freedom after all the years of imprisonment. I could go home to my valley, and then how could you forgive me? As I ripped my claw free from your flesh, you looked straight into my eyes and forgave me. How? Kurama's chakra started swirling around him violently. Naruto could barely keep his footing as the waves of energy washed over him, but Kushina stood in front of him and blocked Kurama's raging chakra with her own. You goddamn drama queen! Kushina roared as countless golden chains erupted from her back. They flew toward Kurama and tied him up. As they pinned him to the ground, some of them formed up and took the shape of a giant paddle. No! Kurama screamed in fear as he realized what was happening. The golden paddle descended on Kurama's rear end no differently than it would have a misbehaving child. You gonna cry about it? You gonna cry, baby fox? Kushina raised the golden paddle extra high for the final smack. The sound of the paddle making contact with Kurama was so deafening that Naruto had to cover his ears. Did that really happen, or are you exaggerating? The third Hokage asked, unsurprisingly suspect of the story at this point. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I was just as surprised as you are. So what happened after your mother disciplined Kurama? She convinced me and Kurama to put our pasts behind us and focus on becoming strong enough to fight the masked man when he comes for us. I still had one thing I needed to ask her before she left, though. So my dad was really the fourth Hokage? Yes. His name was Minato Namikaze, and he was a wonderful man. You look so much like him. I bet the girls will be all over you when you get older. Did the third Hokage know I was his son? Naruto the third bowed his head, expecting Naruto to yell at him for lying to him in his youth. He was surprised when no such outburst came. She explained it all to me. I understand why you never told me, and I forgive you for it. Dad had his enemies, and if they knew about me, the Stone Village calls him the Yellow Devil, for crying out loud. I never would have been safe if they caught wind of me. Anyway, me and Mom had a heart-to-heart right before her chakra ran out and her spirit faded. She told me a lot, like how to make chakra chains like she can. It's really not that hard if you have the right kind of chakra like we do. The Hokage sat back in his chair and took a nice long hit of his pipe, taking in all of this new information. I'm glad that you understand the situation I was in. It pained me every time I had to lie to you about your parents. Now about the key, I'm sorry to say that I do not have it. The key was inscribed on the belly of one of your father's toad summons and given to his master Jiraiya. You mean my worthless bum of a godfather? Mom told me about him too. I can forgive for lying to me, but what he did was unacceptable. He left me to fend for myself in a world that hated me. I don't want to see that man if I can help it. I understand your anger, Naruto, but if you wish to be a true Jinchuriki, you must find him and convince him to unseal the fox's full power. Until then, you can only use as much chakra as the fox can safely pump through the seal without breaking it. Naruto sighed, defeated. Where is that old bum anyway? He's off searching for Orochimaru. Orochimaru, there's something you should know about Orochimaru. If it's about his immortality jutsu, I already know. So the old pervert figured that much out? Orochimaru was planning on jumping into my body, but Kurama put an end to that pretty quickly. We have reason to believe the next target for his jutsu is a boy in this village named Sasuke Uchiha. We suspect Orochimaru wants him for his eyes. That's not all he wants. Orochimaru loves rare bloodlines and goes out of his way to keep dying ones around. I saw a ton of people from dying clans when I was there. A crystal-style user, a bone-style user, and even a couple more Uzumaki. He made it perfectly clear to all of them that he was expecting them to breed for him eventually. More Uzumaki? How many? 3. 2 of them were just as screwed up in the head as Orochimaru was. The other one wasn't like that. She was good to me and wanted to escape together. Orochimaru sent her away from me when he found out, though. I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want me to inform Jiraiya to keep an eye out for her? Yeah. Her name was Karen and she's pretty easy to spot. She's got the Uzumaki's red hair and wears glasses. She focuses more on science and stuff, so her ninja training isn't that intense. She's pretty skinny. I'll do everything I can to find her. Thank you for bringing this information to me, Naruto. Don't mention it, old man. Just promise to get that bastard for me. I promise, Naruto. I will not allow this monster to roam free any longer. You know, for a second there you actually sounded intimidating, Naruto said with a big foxy grin. I was once known as the god of shinobi. You'd do well to remember that, boy. Even in my old age I could decimate you with my little pinky. I don't doubt it. The raikage once beat me up with his big toe. The third imagined what that must have looked like and started to crack up laughing. Naruto soon joined in. Ha ha. Naruto, if you ever feel the need to return to your homeland, we will welcome you with open arms. Yeah, I know. I'm not leaving my big sis though, so don't count on that happening. I assumed you were gonna say that. I had to ask because of my advisors though. I bet those old fogies are gonna yell at you for not trying to bribe me with money and women or some other nonsense. Most likely. You're just like your father, so doing that would be pointless. He was not one to accept bribes. I remember he once tossed a man off the roof for attempting to bribe him. Really? He didn't kill him, did he? No, I was there to catch him. Your father did it as a way to send a message to anyone who thought his integrity was questionable. I'll have to remember that when I become the raikage someday. Oh, you wish to become the raikage? I remember the days you used to spend running around the village claiming to be the Hokage when you grew up. If it was up to me, I'd be the Kage of all 5 villages. If I could do that, then I could stop everyone from fighting and make the world a much more peaceful place. Ha ha. You never cease to amaze me, Naruto. If anyone can unite the 5 villages, I believe it would be you. That reminds me. A few years ago, one of my sons started his own family. My grandson reminds me a lot of you. He claims that he will be the Hokage one day and runs around the village pulling pranks like you did. I would like you to meet him. He should be arriving any second. Old man. A small child dove through the door holding a shuriken in his hand. I'm gonna defeat you and become the 5th Hokage. The small child ran forward only to trip and fall flat on his face. That hurt. The Hokage face-palmed and Naruto was holding back a huge laugh. Konohamaru, it's not a sneak attack if I told you to come here at this time. Ha ho 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 ha ha. Naruto couldn't hold back his laughter any longer. Who is this blonde jerk who dares to laugh at the next Hokage? Who am I? I'm Naruto Uzumaki, and I'm going to be the raikage one day. The raikage? That makes you my rival. I challenge you to a duel. Aren't you a little young to be challenging awesome ninja like me to a duel? The only awesome ninja here is me. You're just a big blonde idiot with a stupid face. What did you just say to me, punk? You heard me, shorty. I'm taller than you, shrimp. I'm just a little boy. What's your excuse? Enough. The 3rd Hokage finally yelled out. Both boys were shocked and started bowing down, apologizing to the Hokage. You two are so alike in many ways. I would go as far as to say you two deserve each other. The reason I called you two here is that in the time Naruto is here in the village, I wouldn't mind the two of you spending some time together. I believe you two could learn a lot from each other. Konohamaru, if you do intend to be the Hokage one day, you need to learn how to make friendships with foreigners. The same goes for you in your quest to be the raikage, Naruto. I believe it could be a mutually beneficial friendship. Both boys looked at each other and shook hands. If that's what you want, Grandpa, I guess I can spend some time with this guy. You were right when you said this kid was like me. I wouldn't mind pulling a prank or two with him. You like to pull pranks too? Of course. Didn't you hear stories about me? I'm the guy who painted the Hokage monument with graffiti. That was you. You're my prankster idol. What have I done? Sarutobi said aloud as the two pranksters walked out of his office. Naruto introduced Konohamaru to Yujito, and after making plans to meet each other after his morning training session, the two parted ways and Naruto and his sister made their way back toward the hotel. Later, at the hidden base of the Root Foundation, the same Umbu who watched Naruto and his team walk into the ice cream shop with Hinata and friends following close behind was giving his report to his boss. The boss was an older man with bandages covering large portions of his body. I thank you for bringing me this information. You may go now. The Umbu disappeared from sight, instantly leaving Danzo to ponder this new information by himself. So not only has the Fourth's legacy returned, but there exists in this village a girl with interest in him. I could use this to my advantage, but I must be careful. The girl is the very same Hyuga that was almost kidnapped by the Cloud all those years ago. I must find a way to push the two together without the rest of her clan getting in the way. I must also find a way to distance the boy from the Cloud village. I wonder if he knows about what the Cloud tried to do to his mother. Danzo was snapped out of his thoughts when yet another of his Umbu's subordinates appeared. Sir, we have found the resting place of the 3 tails like you requested. He is hibernating in a lake 1 week's journey from the village. Excellent. Mobilize the sealing team. I want that demon in our hands as soon as possible. Also bring me the files I requested on possible Jinchuriki candidates. Yes, sir. Danzo was once again left alone with his thoughts. Yet another demon shows itself to me. If I play my cards right, we could have 2 of the tailed beasts under the control of the leaf. Ch5 rewrite. Naruto had just finished his early morning training with his sister and teammates, and was getting ready to spend time with the 3rd Hokage's grandson like he promised. He walked out of his hotel and noticed someone trying to hide behind a camouflage cloak that was being held the wrong way. Is that you, Konohamaru? The boy dropped the cloak and smiled. As expected of my new rival. Even a master of stealth like myself can't hide from you. Konohamaru, you were holding the cloak the wrong way. It wasn't hard to see you. Konohamaru started blushing and rubbing the back of his head. What are we going to do today, boss? The embarrassed boy said, trying to change the subject. Naruto got a devilish grin on his face. Today we are gonna pull some pranks. Oh, what kind of pranks? Konohamaru was visibly excited at the mention of pulling pranks. Some awesome pranks. I haven't been able to get much pranking done because my big sis is always catching me, but today I set her up on a date, so we should be able to get some serious pranking done while she focuses on that. In the hotel's shared bathhouse, Yujito was currently soaking in a bath with Karui beside her after the morning training. Achoo. Looks like someone's talking about me. Maybe it's that guy Naruto set you up on a date with. I told you it's not a date. You're letting him treat you to ice cream, how is that not a date? Shut up, Karui. Yujito was blushing wildly. Whatever, be in denial for all I care. You know that idiot's probably gonna go try and pull a bunch of pranks, right? I know. I figure I'll let him loose just for today. I trust him not to pull anything that leads to an international incident. You trust that dumbass way more than I do. Karui got a firm slap upside her head for that comment. Don't cuss so much. Oh. You didn't have to hit me that hard. Back with the boys, they were strolling through some back alleys as Naruto was explaining his game plan to Konohamaru. Okay, Konohamaru, I figure we'll pull a couple of smaller pranks as a warm-up, then we'll move on to the big one I have planned today. Sure thing, boss. What kind of prank do you want to pull first? Teehee, I'll show you one of my favorite pranks first. Follow me. The two jumped on the roofs and started jumping around town till they found a good mark. Those two are perfect. Naruto pointed out a couple on the street walking hand in hand. How are we gonna prank them, boss? Watch and learn, young grasshopper. Naruto put his hands into a seal in preparation for a jutsu. Transform. Naruto suddenly turned into a beautiful woman with large assets and long flowing blonde hair tied into pigtails. She was wearing an orange shirt that hugged her figure tightly and black shorts that showed off practically every inch of her legs. Whoa was all Konohamaru could say as he looked at the beautiful woman in front of him with a blush. Teehee, like what you see, Konohamaru? I call this my sexy jutsu. Boss, you have got to teach me that one. Maybe later, for now just watch and learn. Naruto jumped down from the roof around a corner in front of where the couple were heading. He turned the corner and started walking the opposite direction as them while whistling a happy melody. As he walked, he made sure to sway his hips side to side in an alluring way. He passed the couple and the man turned his head to stare at Naruto's rather plump behind. The woman of course saw this and immediately slapped the man in the back of the head and called him a pervert. She broke her hand free from the man's and stormed off with the man offering apology after apology while chasing after her. Works every time. Naruto yelled excitedly after the couple were out of earshot. Konohamaru jumped down from the roof and had a look of pure admiration on his face. Boss, that was amazing. You have to teach me that technique sometime. Later, I got a few more pranks to show you before I let you in on the details for the big prank. As the two started jumping around the roofs looking for more marks, Naruto couldn't help but wonder about his sister and Irika. They should be meeting up right about now. I hope those two hook up so I don't have to hear sis complaining about not getting late again. Not long after Naruto and Konohamaru had left, Irika picked up Yujito from the hotel and took her to the same ice cream shop she took her team the day before. Yujito was currently devouring the ice cream at a speed that would rival Naruto when he eats ramen. My, you certainly have a strong appetite today. Yujito stopped eating and blushed. I really like ice cream, anything with milk or cream in it, really. Oh, I see. Well, at least milk is healthy. Naruto's obsession with ramen has to be one of the most unhealthy habits I've ever seen. Don't worry about that. I make sure that he gets proper nutrition. Even if I have to force the fruits and vegetables down his throat. Haha, that's good. That boy needs a firm hand to keep him in line. I hear he hasn't been doing as many pranks because of you. I can usually catch him before he gets the big ones off. He still likes to harass people who piss him off though. All of a sudden the two hear a woman just outside the store yelling at a man for being a nasty pervert who likes underage girls. That was probably Naruto's handiwork, Yujito said with a small smile. What do you mean? Iruka asked curiously. He likes to transform into an attractive teenage girl and walk around in front of couples to expose the unfaithful guys. Wow, that's a move. Yujito was taken aback by the brash and vulgar way Iruka described Naruto's favorite prank and started laughing hysterically. Iruka started blushing wildly. I don't know why I said that. It just sort of slipped out. I'm very sorry, that was incredibly inappropriate. Ha ha ha, it's okay. I like guys who tell it like it is. After she realized what she said, she started blushing just like Iruka. They sat in an uncomfortable silence for a while until Iruka decided to speak. So tell me about how you and Naruto became family. Back when Naruto came to my village, he was still just an innocent child. I was amazed that someone who could have experienced such painful experiments at the hands of that monster could still have such a positive outlook on life. I decided that I would adopt him and treat him like the little brother I always wanted. That's not all right? You wanted to help him because you know the kind of life people like you tend to have. Yes, I didn't want him to have the same lonely childhood I had. People with our condition have to stay together. Don't talk about it like it's a sickness. There is nothing wrong with you too. Thank you. I can tell you are a kind, understanding man. I'm glad he had a friend like you while he was here. I wasn't always this understanding. I didn't like Naruto at first, but something he did changed my opinion of him. Iruka began reminiscing about the time he and Naruto first met. Iruka was taking a casual stroll through the parks of the village when he noticed three boys pushing around a small girl with white eyes and blue hair. Iruka immediately ran toward them to stop them, but before he could get close enough, an orange and yellow flash knocked one of the boys down. Stop picking on people, you big dumb bully. Who the heck are you? The bully yelled out from under Naruto. I'm the guy who's gonna be the Hokage one day. I won't let bad guys like you hurt anybody in this village. Get him off me, you morons! The boy yelled to his underlings, who quickly grabbed Naruto and started to punch and kick him. Alright, that's enough. Iruka finally yelled out, and the three boys turned and ran from the sight of the angry man in front of them. Iruka ran up and saw that the girl was crying over the boy's chest. I am sorry. If I was an SOW weak, you wouldn't need to save me. Lady Hinata? Keiko? Suddenly an older Hyuga man showed up and asked Hinata what just happened. She explained that she was getting bullied and that she was saved by the boy and older man. The Hyuga thanked Iruka for helping Hinata and quickly took her away. Wait, Ko. What about that boy? Lady Hinata, it's in your best interest to ignore that child. He is not the kind of boy you should associate with. But he saved me. That man saved you, not the boy. Now please be quiet and don't mention that boy again. Especially in front of your father. Hinata hung her head in defeat and was silent all the way home. Iruka, on the other hand, stood by Naruto. Hey, are you okay? Why, yeah. Is that girl okay? Yes, her caretaker just took her home. Good. I hate it when bad guys hurt pretty girls. That was really brave of you to jump in and help her like that. Well, if I'm going to be the Hokage one day, I'm gonna have to get used to helping people. I have an idea. Do you want me to take you to eat something as a reward for your bravery? Yes, sir. Naruto's face lit up with a huge smile at the prospect of food. Have you ever had ramen before? There's a really good ramen stand nearby. Ramen? Never heard of it. Is it good? Why don't you be the judge of that? Okay, I will. Iruka took Naruto by his tiny hand and walked him to a Chiraku ramen, where Naruto ate his first and definitely not last bowl of ramen. And that's the day Naruto discovered ramen, and also the day he became like a brother to me. Yujito was silent as she processed what she just heard. A young Hyuga girl? It must have been the same one we saw yesterday. Yujito was snapped back to reality when she heard Iruka clear his throat. That's certainly an interesting story. Even now Naruto will jump into a fight to protect someone weaker than him. Yeah, I've heard rumors about what happened in the Wave Country. Would you mind telling me the whole story of what happened there? Wave Country, huh? That's an interesting one for sure. The mission was supposed to be a simple assassination. Get in and kill the shipping tycoon Gato and then get out. Naruto didn't want to kill him though. Why? Gato is a notorious criminal. I would think Naruto of all people would jump at a chance to get rid of such a man. Naruto is very idealistic. He wanted to make Gato stand trial for his crimes. He rounded up some civilians and gave a rousing speech about standing up for yourself. He inspired the people to take up arms, and with me and the other 2 members of our team we were able to storm his hideout and wipe out his entire army of thugs. It was that easy? But Gato is known for hiring rogue ninja. They didn't try and stop you? One of the perks of being like me and Naruto is that some ninja know better than to mess with you. The rogue ninja he hired cut their losses and got out of there the second they realized who I was. Anyway, we took Gato prisoner and he was put on trial by the people. They found him guilty, and he was publicly executed. What about the bridge? I heard they named it after Naruto. Yes, well, the bridge was the reason Gato was in the wave. The people were trying to build it as a way to break free of Gato's control. He was staying in the wave until he could find and assassinate the bridge builder. Luckily, the bridge builder went into hiding right before the contract came in on Gato's life. He came back after he heard of Gato's death, and with Naruto and my teams helped finish the bridge. To think that goofy little kid I used to take out for ramen would grow into such a hero. If you think it's weird for you, imagine how it is for me. I used to sit him down and help him with his homework. That boy couldn't even read or write before he met me, and forget about him doing math. Ha ha, I remember how angry he would get when he would see numbers. He would always start yelling. Numbers are stupid and whoever thought of them is a jerk, both of the adults said at the same time. The two started a light-hearted laugh. You know, Miss Yujito, I'm glad you and Naruto found each other. He deserves to have a family as great as you. I'm not that great of a family. Yujito was once again blushing. Every month I have a get-together with a bunch of my girlfriends, and we like to drink and talk about girl stuff. Naruto hates it. We can get pretty loud and raunchy sometimes, and it's part of the reason he became such a pervert. Come on, you can't be that bad when you get together with your friends. Yujito bent over the table and whispered something into Irika's ear. Irika instantly blushed at a level that would rival Hinata. That's the kind of stuff we talk about. Well, that's interesting. Naruto overheard that conversation and I caught him the next day looking in an anatomy textbook trying to understand what we were talking about. Of all the things he would be interested in studying, it had to be that. Both adults were blushing in yet another uncomfortable silence. Well, I should probably get going now. I'm an academy teacher and I have to get my lesson plan for tomorrow done. As Irika got up, his hand was suddenly grabbed by Yujito. Will I see you again? Well, we could always have dinner or something together. Tonight? Yeah. Here's my address. Irika wrote his address on a piece of paper and handed it to Yujito. Come over at around 8 tonight, and I'll make something for us. I'll be there. Irika walked off and Yujito was in the shop alone. Why am I feeling like this? He's a foreigner. But he makes me so happy and no one back home even thinks about touching me. I have to get a hold of myself. I'm not about to give it up to a man after only one date. Wouldn't it technically be 2 dates if you go tonight? You don't talk to me for 2 days and this is what you butt in with? I don't see the problem with this. You're both attracted to each other, so there should be no reason you two can't mate. You wouldn't understand. Humans can't just go around mating whenever we want without consequences. Your species invented birth control. You're the only animals in the world that can. Well? I'm done talking to you. Elsewhere in the village, Naruto and Konohamaru were preparing for their final prank of the day. Okay, Konohamaru, I've shown you all of my favorite pranks. Now it's time for us to pull the ultimate prank. What are we gonna do, boss? You and I are going to challenge the Hokage to a duel. Are you crazy? How is that a prank? We're gonna get our butts kicked. It's a prank because we aren't going to fight. We'll challenge him and then I'll bust out my ultimate anti-pervert technique. Oh, what kind of technique is it, boss? It puts my sexy jutsu to shame. Come on and I'll show you. The two bolted toward the Hokage tower to challenge the Hokage. It was getting late into the afternoon, so the Hokage should have been finished with his paperwork. When the two arrived, they opened the door to find the third reading a small orange book. Aha! I knew you were a pervert, old man. Grandpa, how come you can read those books and I can't? Both boys yelled at the Hokage, causing him to drop his book in shock. Naruto, Konohamaru, what are you two doing here? We're here to challenge you to an honorable duel. Yeah, an honorable duel, Grandpa. Naruto suddenly put his hands into a strange seal Konohamaru had never seen before. My ultimate anti-pervert jutsu. First I start off with this. Shadow Clone Jutsu. About 10 Narutos suddenly appeared in the room. Konohamaru and the Hokage were both shocked, but the Hokage was even more so because he knew how dangerous this jutsu was. He learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu? The raikage let him learn a forbidden technique. Now for the second part. Transform. Suddenly the Narutos were all changed into naked teenage girls identical to the one earlier in the day. Oh Lord Hokage. You're such a handsome man. Let me give you a big wet kiss, the clones all said in unison. Suddenly a geyser of blood shot out of the Hokage's nose and he fell over unconscious. Success, both the boys said in unison before they ran out the door, high-fiving each other along the way. The third Hokage regained consciousness quickly and sat back in his chair. My, what an interesting jutsu. Lord Hokage? The third turned around in his chair and saw a silver-haired jonin wearing a mask. Yes, Kakashi? That was awesome. Indeed. What brings you around here at this time, Kakashi? I've received word from Jiraiya. He's found a promising lead on Orochimaru, but he'll be here as soon as he can. Keep me updated. Knowing Jiraiya, he'll just show up one day at a hot spring. He was never one for protocol. Understood. With that, Kakashi bowed to the Hokage and jumped out the open window he used to get in. Now where was I? The Hokage picked up his orange book and kept reading. Ch6 rewrite. It was already dark when Naruto dropped off Konohamaru at the Sarutobi clan compound. Naruto left him with a promise to teach him the sexy jutsu whenever he had some free time. A sudden rumbling in Naruto's stomach sent him to Ichiraku Ramen, where he saw Tochi's daughter Ayam. Hey Ayam. Do you remember me? She looked at him for a few seconds until she realized. Naruto. She grabbed him in a bone-crunching hug and lifted him off the ground. Ayam. You're gonna crush me and I won't be able to take the Chunin exams. She placed the boy back down with a happy look on her face. I miss you, Naruto. Me and Dad were really worried about you. Yeah, I know. I already met your dad yesterday. He didn't tell you I was back in town? He told me to expect a visit from a VIP sometime in the next few days. He probably expected you to come in and surprise me sometime. Like I just did? Naruto said with a chuckle. Well, yeah. Anyway, sit down and I'll make you my new specialty ramen. Naruto did as instructed and he started conversing with Ayam as she cooked. So how have things been, Ayam? Things have been good. A little boring without you here though. People keep telling me that. How are things in the Cloud Village? The Cloud Village isn't so bad. I've got good friends and a big sister to take care of me. Oh, you should bring her here sometime so I can meet her. I'll try, but tomorrow I'm gonna start doing some hard last-minute training for the Chunin exams. I won't have a lot of free time. Chunin exams, huh? Are you gonna kick some butt? You bet. I'm gonna demolish all the competition and prove I'm the best. Ayam had a chuckle at Naruto's boisterous attitude. So Naruto, do you have a special girl back at the Cloud Village? None of the girls my age back at the Cloud Village really catch my eye. There is one girl I saw here in this village that caught my attention though, Naruto said with a big blush visible on his cheeks. What's she like? Maybe I've seen her around. She's got really pretty blue hair and white eyes. I saw her and some other girls at an ice cream shop the other day. At first she just sort of blended into the background and I didn't notice her, but once I took a closer look I realized she was really pretty and that she kind of liked me. I'm thinking of asking her out sometime. White eyes? You mean a Hyuga? Yeah. Hinata was her name. Hinata? I think I know that girl. My friend who works at the local bakery talks about a Hyuga girl named Hinata who buys cinnamon buns from her. Really? What does she say about her? Naruto was excited at the prospect of learning more about the girl he was so interested in. She's apparently a really timid girl. Hyuga women have a reputation for being spoiled and rude, but my friend told me that she's really kind and considerate. One day when they were short-staffed at my friend's bakery, Hinata offered to help and spent the whole day in the kitchen. Yeah, she seemed like the nicest one of the girls I met yesterday. The other two were really pretty, but they didn't have the same kind of inner beauty that Hinata had. Ayam couldn't help herself from bursting into laughter. Huh, what's so funny, Ayam? I'm sorry, Ayam said as she suppressed her laughter. It's just the way you described her as having an inner beauty was just so adorable. Naruto got a huge blush on his face yet again and sat in silence until his food was done. He devoured it in an instant and paid Ayam. It was good to see you again, Naruto. I hope things work out between you and that girl. Just tell her about her inner beauty and I bet she'll fall in love with you on the spot. See you later, Ayam. Naruto ran off embarrassed and found himself on some rooftop somewhere. He took out a pocket watch and looked at the time. It's still not that late. What else can I do tonight? Naruto, I have a favor to ask. Kurama? You've been pretty quiet the past couple of days. What's up? Ever since we've been in the village I've been sensing something really weird. I think that there might be another Jinchuriki besides you and Yujito. How is that possible? I was the only Jinchuriki in this village. This one might be a genin here to take the Chunin exams like you. Focus for a second, and you should be able to sense him not too far from here. Naruto complied with Kurama's wishes by sitting in a meditative position and activating his sensory powers. He was soon able to sense every person in the entire village. He could feel everything they were feeling and could even pinpoint their exact location. Okay, what exactly am I looking for? Imagine if I was batshit insane and a lot weaker. If I'm right, then this Jinchuriki is paired with Shikaku, the one-tail. Okay, I think I found him. He's in a hotel in the rich part of town. Good God, you weren't kidding about this guy. He'd give Tayuya a run for her money with how screwed up his head is. Then it's as I feared. Shikaku has gotten to him. What's up with Shikaku? Is he really that bad? It's partly his fault that the Jinchuriki tradition exists. He hates humanity. Unlike the rest of us who either learn to coexist with humans or ignore them, Shikaku actively sought conflict with them. To be honest, I've been wanting to beat some sense into him for a long time. Before we do that, I want to try talking it out. Maybe I can help them like B did for you and me. Fine. Be warned that I will intervene if you end up fighting him. I don't care if you refuse my power when fighting the other genin, but I will not stay my hand against another Jinchuriki. I got it. Don't worry, I would have asked for your help anyway. Good. Now what's the plan, Naruto? Are you going to tell Yujito about this? I'll tell her tomorrow. I don't want to get in the way of her date tonight. It seems to be going pretty well from what I can tell. Pretty well was an understatement. Yujito and Iruka were having a great time swapping stories about their careers and their friends. So let me get this straight, they had an actual measuring contest? Yes, and they kept begging me to be the one to measure. It was kind of creepy actually. I had a pair of girlfriends who made me measure their chest size once, so I can relate. It's hard being the only sane one in a group sometimes, isn't it? You can say that again. Can you excuse me for a second while I go to the bathroom? Of course. Yujito got up and walked over to the bathroom. Iruka was a gentleman, but even the most noble of man has to peek when a woman with a behind shaped like Yujito's is walking away. Of course, being the gentleman that he was, his peek was brief. He turned away, his face flushed. Little did he know that Yujito's face was equally flushed. Shit! I've got to think of an excuse to get out of here before I do something stupid. Or you can mate with him like I've been telling you to this whole time. God damn it, Matatabi. Just do it. I can't. Do it. No. You want it, and he wants it, so just do it. Do it. You don't understand, I can't do it because I forgot my birth control at home like a dumbass. I remembered when you mentioned birth control earlier. Then make him wear a goddamn condom. What if he doesn't have any? I don't want to get his hopes up for nothing. For fuck's sake, Yujito, there's a convenience store right around the corner. He can go buy some. Yeah, but what if he gets really embarrassed and can't buy them? Fine. I'm going. Iruka jumped when his bathroom door swung open and a scarlet Yujito walked out. Do you have any condoms here or do we need to buy some? She asked bluntly. Naruto dropped some off while we were out earlier. Hold on a sec, both their chakra signatures just got way hotter. I think they're about to We have penetration. Yes. My man Iruka closing the deal. Good thing we dropped off those rubbers earlier. It was a little awkward with Konohamaru with us, but it was worth it. I'm so glad this happened. Now I don't need to listen to sis complaining about how she can't get laid. Speaking of getting laid, I sense a cute little white-eyed honey not too far from here. Want to test our luck? You are one perverted fox, you know that? That's why we make such a good team. You got that right. Okay, let's go get her. Hinata was very conflicted right now. All she could think about the past 2 days was how her childhood crush just appeared out of nowhere, and just happened to be a ninja from the most hated village in the Hyuga clan. She didn't even know why the Hyuga hated the Clouds so much, and she was afraid to ask. It was driving her crazy thinking about it all. She finally decided to get her mind off of everything by going out and buying some cinnamon buns. She was just leaving the bakery when she ran into the very source of her current stress. Hey beautiful! Naruto blurted out as he jumped off the roof in front of a shocked Hinata. And Naruto? Did he just call me beautiful? I was just walking around the village and saw you, so I decided to see how you were doing. I am alright. Hinata was blushing blood red already. Teehee, you're really cute when you're blushing. Why you think I am cute? Well yeah. I couldn't stop thinking about you yesterday. In fact, I was wondering if maybe you wanted to spend some time together? Yes. I would like that very much. Okay then let's go. Naruto grabbed Hinata by the hand and took her away. Hinata was so stunned by the recent turn of events that she wasn't thinking straight. She regained her composure after a few minutes and started talking to Naruto. And Naruto where are we going? I'm going to take you to my favorite place in this whole village. Well, second favorite place to be honest. I'll take you to my favorite place on our next date. D-date? Hinata lost herself in a daydream as she began fantasizing about what she wanted to happen tonight. Though her fantasy was tame by most standards, it was enough by her standards to paint her face with a crimson blush. Okay, we're here. Hinata snapped out of her daydreams when she realized she was on the observation deck in front of the Hokage monument. This is my second favorite place in the village. I love looking at the faces of the Kage because it inspires me to surpass them. They stood in an uncomfortable silence for a little while as Hinata was too embarrassed to say anything and Naruto couldn't think of anything else to say. Naruto thought back to when he would spy on other people on dates and thought of what to say next. So tell me more about yourself, Hinata. I bet you have all sorts of kick-ass stories about your life as a ninja. Well, Hinata steeled her resolve and made a mental vow to stop stuttering. I don't have many stories about being a ninja, but I can tell you that my hobbies are gardening and that I love cinnamon buns. Hinata was beyond proud of herself. She actually got through a sentence talking to Naruto without a stutter. Gardening, huh? I always kind of liked flowers, but the lightning country sucks for growing stuff. Fertilizer is expensive, and there are so many clouds around it's hard to grow plants that need a lot of sunlight. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe you can go to the Yamanaka clan's flower shop and find some flowers that will grow in that region's climate. Hinata was cheering in her head at yet another sentence without a stutter. That's a great idea. You're really smart, Hinata. Naruto started staring into Hinata's eyes, making her regain the blush she had successfully suppressed earlier. You're also really pretty and you have nice chakra. I have an nice chakra? The stutter was back and Hinata was mentally berating herself for slipping back into that habit so easily. Yeah. You see, I'm a sensory ninja, so I can feel people's chakra. You have a really warm chakra. It's the chakra of someone with a kind heart. It reminds me a lot of my mother. My mother told me once that I should find a girl who is like her. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I kind of like you and I was wondering if you would be my. Suddenly Naruto found himself on the ground with a very angry Kunoichi pinning him down by his arm. Normally Naruto would have been happy having a woman that looked like this on top of him, but in this situation he was obviously not. Hinata! Are you alright? Did this cloud ninja hurt you or try to make you do something you didn't want? Kurinai-sensei. I wasn't doing anything bad, I swear. Naruto had tears developing in his eyes from the pain of having Kurinai twist his arm. It hurt almost as bad as when his sister twists his ear. Listen, Cloud Ninja, as I'll only say this once. Stay away from my student or I'll make you regret it. Kurinai-sensei. Please get off of Naruto. Kurinai whipped her around and stared at Hinata. This boy is Naruto? Kurinai had heard the stories of the Jinchuriki who left the village as a child, but she had no idea that the boy she was manhandling was that same Jinchuriki. Please, Kurinai-sensei. Naruto and I were just talking. Kurinai finally let go of Naruto and let him stand up. First my ear and now my arm. Why do grown women like beating me up so much? I think you should go now, Cloud Ninja. I don't want to see you hanging around my student anymore. Do I make myself clear? That's not your decision to make now, is it? Hinata seemed to enjoy my company. Kurinai started slowly walking toward Naruto. You have 5 seconds to get out of my sight. 5. Ah man, I'm sorry, Hinata. 4. It's okay, Naruto. Please don't blame yourself. 3. Okay, I get it. I'm gone. Naruto jumped away and left the two Kunoichi alone. As soon as he was out of earshot, Kurinai turned to Hinata. Kurinai-sensei, why did you do that? Hinata, it's time you learn the truth about why your clan hates the cloud. Ch7 rewrite. It was finally the day of the first part of the Chunin exams and Naruto was beyond excited. Not only was he convinced he was going to dominate the exams, but he was sure he was going to get the chance to see Hinata again. He was practically bouncing off the walls with excitement until his sister Yujito came in and gave him a firm smack on the head. Hurry up and get ready. I want you 3 there early. Her yelling woke up the still sleeping Omoi, and he and Naruto quickly got ready and left the room to find a fully prepared Karui waiting for them. You two lazy asses need to shape up. I'd been ready for almost half an hour. Karui had a vein throbbing on her forehead as she said that. We have a little over an hour and a half to get there. Don't get your panties in a bunch, Naruto said in a slightly playful tone. What was that about my panties? Karui shot Naruto an evil eye while grasping her sword in one hand. Nothing. Naruto responded, visibly shaken. All of a sudden Yujito came out of her room and gave all 3 of them firm slaps on the head. Hurry up and get out of here, you morons. If you aren't out of the hotel in 5 seconds, I will personally drag you 3 there with my bare hands. Yujito wasn't kidding around today, and the 3 genin knew it. The 3 genin didn't want to incur the wrath of their sensei, so they ran out of the hotel at top speed. Once they were out the door, Oma spoke up. So how do we get to the first testing site anyway? Sis said the first testing site was a room over at the academy. I know where it is, so follow me. With that, the 3 genin took off and were on their way to taking the Chunin exams. Back in the hotel, Yujito was waiting patiently on her bed staring at the clock. She perked up when she heard a knock at her window and opened it. Irika jumped in and smiled at her with a faint blush on his face. Are the kids gone already? He asked while stroking Yujito's equally blushed face. They just left. We have until the exam gets out to do this. I gave Naruto a gift card for Ichiraki yesterday. He's going to take his team out afterward. That should buy us another hour at least. Maybe 2 if Naruto decides to pig out like he usually does. I love a man who thinks ahead. Yujito then pushed Irika onto the bed with force. She started straddling his waist and lightly nibbling on his neck and ear, a technique that she learned he loved on their first night together. He returned the favor by squeezing and rubbing her butt. Yujito started purring like a cat and stared deeply into Irika's eyes. He recognized the cat-like irises that replaced her normal ones whenever she got excited. Be gentle with me, he said as Yujito began undressing him. I can't promise you that. She mockingly stuck her tongue out at him, then pulled his pants down. Naruto and his team were nearing the academy when Naruto suddenly stopped and started giggling. What's up, Naruto? Oma asked. I know why sis wanted us gone so badly. Oh god. Carrie already knew where this was going. Naruto just started walking again, ignoring the confused look from Omoe and the annoyed look from Karui. Naruto and his squad weren't the only Chunin hopefuls on their way to the test. Hinata and her team were making their way to the testing site as well. Kiba was holding a sleeping Akamaru in his arms while Shino just walked with his hands in his pockets like he always does. Kiba was trying to make small talk with Shino while Hinata was stuck in a contemplative silence. She had a lot to think about recently with the revelation of her clan's troubled past with the Cloud Village. Hinata was a mature girl for her age, so she understood a lot of things that other girls may not have, such as her clan's choice to hide the truth from her when it was apparent that she didn't remember the event. What she couldn't understand was why her father, a man who prided himself on his level head, could do something so rash as murder her kidnapper when it was well within his power to incapacitate him with the gentle fist. A shinobi must always keep his emotions under control. Hinata repeated that quote over and over in her head. It was the first thing her father said to her when she began her gentle fist training. He drilled that into her mind constantly, and the overwhelming hypocrisy of it drove Hinata mad on the inside. She wanted to confront her father and tell him that she knew that her uncle died because of him, but she couldn't muster up the strength. She locked herself up in her room when not training and was beginning to worry the clan. That was only the first of her problems, though. She also had to deal with the problem of her childhood crush being a member of the village who tried to kidnap her. She didn't want to believe that Naruto was the kind of person to do such a thing, but she had no idea what the Cloud Village could have done to him in the years since he was there. Brainwashing children was a practice that occurred often in the more immoral hidden villages, and from what she could gather, the Cloud had a reputation for being ruthless in their search for rare bloodline abilities. Bark bark. Hinata was alerted at the sound of the now wide-awake Akamaru's bark. The dog was happily licking its master's face before it stopped and jumped at Hinata. She caught the dog and let it lick her a few times before it jumped over and did the same thing to Shino. Hinata may have been a wreck mentally, but seeing her teammates filled her with strength as she vowed to not let them down during the exams. Naruto and his team made it to the academy with plenty of time to spare. They were making their way up the stairs when Kurama started talking to Naruto. Hey Naruto, there's a weak genjutsu over the area. The other 2 already dispelled it, and I made sure it didn't affect you. Thanks, Kurama. I was never very good at countering genjutsu. The group made it to the door and walked in. There were a couple of teams already sitting around, but none that looked like any sort of threat. Naruto made sure to give them all a good once-over with his sensory powers and memorized their chakra signatures. He did this for everyone who walked in after them as well. His team sat down at a table near the front of the classroom. Hinata and her group reached the academy not long after Naruto. Hinata's team had also noticed the genjutsu and dispelled it instinctively. Being the students of one of the best genjutsu users in the village had its benefits. Hey guys. Wait up. The 3 kids plus dog turned to see the Ino Shikacho trio walking up to them. The 2 teams walked into the room together and found an unoccupied corner to talk in. Naruto, of course, instantly recognized Hinata's chakra and wanted to talk to her, but was held down when he tried to stand up by Omoe and Karui. Naruto, it's in our best interest not to attract attention to ourselves right now. If we pull attention to ourselves, then everyone here might decide to target us, and we'll have to fight them all at once. The idiot's right. Just sit and be quiet for once in your life. Naruto knew that his team was right, but he still wanted to talk to Hinata. He decided to wait and surprise her after the first part of the exam. More and more people started to come in, including the other Jinchuriki Naruto felt earlier. His murderous intent was disgusting to Naruto, but he was able to keep his calm around him. The Jinchuriki himself didn't seem threatening at first glance. He was about Naruto's size except a little scrawnier. Naruto could tell he wasn't primarily a hand-to-hand fighter. The boys' team consisted of some weirdo with a huge thing on his back and an attractive girl with a big fan. She's kinda hot. I can tell by her chakra she's got a pissy personality though. Not like Hinata. If you like that Hinata girl so much, then why don't you marry her? Slow down, Kurama. I haven't even kissed her yet. Naruto's thoughts were broken as another team entered through the door. This team consisted of the pink-haired girl Sakura and 2 black-haired boys. Sigh. Ino yelled as she jumped on the pale boy with a hug from behind. Ino, as much as I love the feel of your breasts on my back, can you please let go of me? Sai said with a fake smile on his face. You're such a bad boy, Sai. Why don't you let me take you out on a date after this exam is over? As much as I love your company, I'm going to have to decline. I'm sorry. Sai kept his fake smile up the whole time. Hey, you rookies should probably keep it down, said a white-haired boy with glasses as he walked up to the group of first-timers. Naruto wanted to keep listening to the conversation, but Kurama interrupted his thoughts. Naruto, the black-haired boy with the blue shirt, is an Uchiha. Uchiha? That's the guy who Orochimaru is after then. We should keep an eye on him. Even if he's young, he's still an Uchiha. I'm not too worried. Take away their eyes and the Uchiha are just like any other ninja. Don't be arrogant, boy. The Sharingan is second only to the Rinnegan. You will lose if you take it lightly. Do me a favor and stop underestimating me. I did research on all the clans of this village before we came here. I know what the Sharingan can do. Trust me, I got a plan. For your sake, I hope you're right. By the way, that group of Leaf Genin is getting some negative attention. I'd perk up my ears if I were you. Taking Kurama's advice, Naruto started listening intently to the room around him when his attention shifted to a group of sound genin whispering among themselves. Apparently, the white-haired boy made a comment about the sound ninja that they didn't like and they were planning a surprise attack. While the white-haired boy was talking to the Uchiha, the sound genin made their move and made a beeline toward him. The leader of the group revealed a large metal glove on his arm and was preparing to strike at the boy. Before he was able to complete his attack, however, his arm was strung up by a golden chain. All of a sudden, the attention of everyone in the room was on the person who had summoned the chain. None other than everyone's favorite knucklehead. Hey head, lighten up. You don't have to get all pissy and start attacking people over nothing. Naruto recalled the chakra chain and stared at the group of sound genin who stared back. Neither side was backing down, and the onlookers were stunned at how fast things were escalating. Who is this guy? Whoever he is, I'm going to have to watch out for him. That chain wasn't just a normal chain. It came from his body somehow. Were Sasuke's thoughts as he intently watched the scene in front of him. Naruto, you're still the same boy who would selflessly put himself in harm's way to protect another. Hinata watched the scene and felt a wave of relief wash over her. Naruto wouldn't have bothered doing that if he wasn't the same boy he was back then. So that's the boy who got away from Lord Orochimaru. It seems he's gained some skill in the past few years. I'm going to have to keep an eye on this one. The white-haired boy Kabuto thought as he watched the scene unfold with a smile on his face. The staring contest was brought to an abrupt halt when the test examiners arrived in a cloud of smoke. Among the group of Chunin was one Jonin who stood at the center. He introduced himself as Ibiki Marino and gave the sound ninja a quick chewing out. He then went on to explain the first part of the test. This first test will be a written examination. You have 90 minutes to complete a 10-question test. The 10th question will be given separately from the first 9 in the last 15 minutes of the exam. Anyone caught cheating will be given a 2-point deduction. If caught cheating 5 times, you will automatically fail the test. If any member of a team fails the test, then the entire squad fails. No. Everyone in the room's attention turned to Naruto. Why did it have to be a written test? Naruto buried his face in his arms on the table and sat quietly. Well, that boy is certainly a funny one. The proctor thought before instructing his helpers to assign the seats for the test. After a few minutes of shifting around, everyone was seated, and to Naruto's delight, he was lucky enough to be sitting next to the girl of his dreams. Hinata was delighted as well, but she was also very nervous and didn't know what to say. Hey Hinata, you shouldn't be so nervous. I bet a smart girl like you will pass no problem. Thank you, Naruto. The tests were passed out, and the Chunin exams officially started. Ch8 rewrite. Naruto stared down at the accursed exam with desperation and horror. He had absolutely no clue how to solve a single problem on the exam. Every one of them involved math in some way, and Naruto was totally clueless when it came to such things. No one said there would be math. He thought as he sat and stared at his blank answer sheet, the urge to slam his face into the desk until he lost consciousness rising with each second. Everyone around him seemed to be hard at work scribbling their answers down, and Naruto felt like a complete moron. He saw Hinata put her pencil down, and realizing that she had already completed the whole thing, felt like curling into the fetal position and crying like a baby. Of course, if he had noticed her deactivating her Byakugan, he might have pieced together the true purpose of the test as she did. Are you seriously this stupid, Naruto? The first answer is 10. Kurama chimed in after minutes of silence. How the hell do you know that? I've been around for a long time, I can do math. Just write down everything I say and we should be fine. Naruto decided to take the risk and started copying down everything Kurama told him. With a few minutes to go until the 10th question, he finished. While he waited, he decided to check up on how Karui and Omoe were doing. Using his sensory powers, he could sense that the two of them were strangely calm. Those two probably found a way to cheat without getting caught. Impressive considering they don't have special eyes like the Uchiha or the two Hyuga in the room. The second Hyuga, I can feel a lot of rage in that guy. Some of it's aimed at Hinata for some reason. He's probably a branch member who hates her for being in the main family. How is that her fault? It's not, but you know how it is. People with a lot of rage in them look for any excuse to get it out. It's just the way some humans are. Well, he better not hurt her or he'll have me to deal with. That a boy. Fight for your woman. All right, pencils down, it's time for the 10th question. Ibiki yelled with authority as everyone in the room did as instructed. Before we move on, I must give out the rules for the 10th question. The first rule is that you may choose to leave and not take the 10th question. Doing so, however, will make you and your team forfeit their chance to become Chunin. Why the hell would we do that then? A random ninja yelled out. Because of the second rule. If you miss this question, you won't be able to take the Chunin exam again for the rest of your life. Everyone in the room was shocked at this with the exception of one. What the hell kind of lie is that? Are these people really gonna fall for such bullshit? Not everyone here is a human lie detector, Naruto. Just shut up and let the weaklings give up. Less competition you have to deal with that way. Almost on cue, people started dropping out of the exam like flies. Only 24 teams were left by the end. Ibiki smiled and congratulated the remaining teams on passing the first phase of the examinations. What? Was the collective response of the room. Ibiki started on with some speech about having the courage to jump into the unknown, or some other boring topic, so Naruto just drowned him out and started talking to Kurama. God, that was boring as hell. I better get to fight someone next time. If you want excitement, then get ready. I sense some excitement coming right now. As if on cue, something covered in a large black drape crashed through the window. The drape was suddenly pinned to the wall with kunai, and in the center of what was now obviously a banner stood an incredibly attractive kunoichi with an incredibly provocative outfit consisting of a mini skirt, an open trench coat, and a fishnet shirt. The banner behind her read Anko Mitarashi. Alright, you maggots, my name is Anko Mitarashi and I'm the proctor for the second phase of the Chunin exams. Ibiki stepped from behind the banner and facepalmed. Anko, you do realize that the second phase is tomorrow, right? I forgot. Anko started blushing and stood at the front of the class for a few seconds, obviously embarrassed. Everyone in the room was stunned at the ridiculous woman in front of them. One blonde was stunned for a completely different reason than the others, though. Naruto's mouth hung open and the blood in his brain migrated south as he stared at the woman's perfect figure. Holy crap! Look at the size of those things. Now that's what a woman looks like. I'll take thick and juicy over skinny and flat any day. I can't stop staring. Please don't let anybody notice. Naruto is staring at that woman's chest. Maybe if I open my jacket, he'll do the same to me. Hinata thought as a blush creeped up on her face once again. Kurenai's girl and that blonde guy are both staring at my chest. God, I love teasing silly little teenagers like them. After all the excitement died down, Anko gave everyone the directions to the testing site for the second phase of the exams. They were all dismissed and started to leave. Naruto turned to talk to Hinata only to see her being dragged away by her teammates. Their eyes locked for a brief second and Hinata managed to mouth the words "I'm sorry" before she was dragged out of the room. Annoyed by the recent turn of events, Naruto treated his team to lunch and used the opportunity to vent some of his frustration. Man, those guys have some nerve dragging Hinata away like that. Naruto angrily exclaimed as he ate his third bowl of ramen. What did you expect, dumbass? Karui said angrily. She was tired of listening to Naruto talk about this girl he was so infatuated with. Naruto, I'm sorry, but maybe you should give up on this girl. Omoe didn't approve of Naruto's new crush either. Why can't you guys be more supportive? Naruto asked, a little shocked at his team's tone. You're trying to bang a girl from another village. Why do you think we aren't being supportive? Karui snapped. I am not trying to do that. I just want to go out with her a few times is all. Naruto retorted. Go down on her a few times is more like it, Omoe said with a slight chuckle. Shut the hell up. I'm not old enough to do that sort of thing yet. That didn't stop you from stealing sensei's booze, or sneaking into that porn theater, or transforming into a girl so you could bathe in the women's hot spring. Omoe listed off Naruto's sins, and with every one Naruto's face grew a darker shade of red. Don't forget the time we caught him watching that hentai movie. I'll never understand the appeal of that tentacle shit. Karui added. Would you quit busting my balls already? I admit I'm a pervert, so just drop it already. Fine, go be an idiot by yourself then. Let's go, Omoe. Karui and Omoi got up and left, having finished their food already. Naruto was left alone in the stand with Ayam, who had been listening the whole time. Naruto, did you really do all that stuff they mentioned? Well, yes. My favorite customer is a horned dog. Ayam hung her head in shame, and so did Naruto. While Naruto was upset, Hinata was absolutely livid. Kurenai had told Kiba and Shino everything and instructed them to keep Hinata away from Naruto. Any hopes she had of getting closer to him were instantly shattered. She ran away from them as fast as she could and went home. She locked herself in her room and just laid in her bed. She sat there until there was a knock on the door. Hinata, Daddy wants to see you. He wants to know if you passed the first exam or not. Hinata didn't want to be anywhere near her father right now, but she knew if she refused to show up he would just come to her. She willed herself out of bed and opened the door. Her little sister Hanabi was there, and she had a worried look on her face. Sis, you didn't fail, did you? No, I passed. It was an easy test that I completed with the aid of the Byakugan. Then why do you look so gloomy? We all thought the worst when you came in and ran straight to your room. I was just tired. You don't have to worry about me, dear. Hinata bent over and kissed Hanabi's forehead. Thank you for your concern, though. Bah, you know I hate when you do that, sis. Hanabi said as she blushed and rubbed the spot Hinata had kissed. If you really hated it, you would stop me. You're the stronger of the two of us, after all. Hinata said with a weak smile as she walked to the clan head's office. When she got there, she knocked and waited for a response. You may enter. A cold voice came from the room. Hinata did as instructed and opened the door. She didn't look directly at her father when she walked in. She did a small bow as was customary when conversing with the clan head and sat down in a chair in front of her father's desk. Hinata, did you pass the first phase of the Chunin exams? Yes, sir. Niji hasn't arrived home yet. Has he passed as well? Yes, sir. Tell me what the test was like this year. The first phase is always different for every exam, but the goal remains the same. To test the mental capabilities of the Chunin prospects. Hinata went on to explain the test and how she passed. You did well to see through the deception. You also did well to properly use your Byakugan. You are dismissed. Hinata stood up and bowed before taking her leave. He didn't even say he was proud of me. Hinata thought as she made the trip back to her room, where she locked herself away yet again. Back at the testing site, Ibiki was making his way around the room, picking up all the tests that had been left on the tables. When he made his way to the test of the funny boy with the orange track suit, he decided to take a look at the boy's answers. What he saw made him laugh. Haha, that boy got every single answer wrong. Naruto Uzumaki, huh? That boy sure is a funny one. Ch9 rewrite. Hinata awoke early the day of the second exam. She had passed out the night before, still wearing her clothes from the day. Finding herself thinking of the way Naruto looked at the proctor for the second exam, she got out of her bed and walked up to the mirror to examine herself. Hinata wasn't the type to casually flaunt her looks, but the way Naruto was so awestruck at the woman's figure got her thinking. Was she capable of eliciting the same reaction? She took off her jacket and took a good long look at herself. The first thing she noticed was her rapidly growing bust. It was much larger than anyone else she knew her age. She turned her body so that she was looking at them from a side view so she could see how far they protruded from her chest. She compared herself to Ino and Sakura, and she realized just how significant the difference was. She found herself thinking about Naruto's possible reaction to seeing her like this. Would he stare at her like he did to the woman the day before? Would other guys stare at her like that? Just how attractive was she? Her thoughts were interrupted when she heard someone clear their throat. She whipped around quickly to see her little sister staring at her with a grin on her face, playfully tossing the skeleton key to their home up and down. Checking yourself out, sis? Hanabi said mockingly. Gee, get out. I have to get ready for the exams, Hinata yelled back, blushing furiously and covering her chest with her arms, even though she still had a shirt on. Teehee, is that what you were doing? It looked like you were staring at your boobies in the mirror. Get out. Hinata grabbed her pillow from her bed and tossed it at Hanabi, but missed as the girl swayed back and let the object sail right over her head. Daddy sent me in here to tell you that he wants you to eat a big breakfast. He says it's to make up for you falling asleep and missing dinner. Hinata grabbed her stomach as a low growl emanated from her core and sent pangs of hunger through her body. She was so caught up in her thoughts the day before she hadn't even realized she wasn't eating. Thank you, Hanabi. I'll make sure to do that after I bathe. Try to keep your hands off yourself in there. Hanabi! Hinata couldn't believe what her little sister just implied. Hinata stared at Hanabi, mouth agape and blushing furiously. By the way, you should find a better hiding spot for those dirty books, Hanabi said as she spun around and started gleefully skipping away. I read them for the story, Hinata yelled back in vain. Whatever you say, sis, Hanabi yelled back from down the hall. Hinata slumped to the ground mortified. I've turned my baby sister into a pervert. Naruto's morning wasn't going so well either. Naruto and his team had once again been kicked out of the hotel room early so that their sensei can enjoy the company of her new friend. They were sitting at Ichiraku Ramen eating breakfast. This is some bullshit. Karui finally broke the silence they had been sharing since they arrived. Us being stuck eating ramen for breakfast or Yujito-sensei kicking us out? Oma questioned. Sensei kicking us out. I didn't even get a chance to take a bath this morning because of her stupid booty call. There's a public bath not far from here. We have enough time to jump in there before the exam, Naruto stated in an effort to appease his fired-up teammate. Karui turned to look at Naruto with a serious look on her face. If you so much as think about peeking at me, I will cut off your winky and wear it on a necklace. I'm not playing. Naruto's face turned a sickly pale, and he could only nod his head to confirm he understood Karui's threat. They finished their food in silence, and made their way to the bathhouse. Inside the bathhouse, Naruto and Omoe were sitting in the water relaxing. Well, at least Omoe was relaxing. Naruto was staring at the wall separating the men's side from the women's side, deep in thought. One little peek couldn't hurt, just one good look at some nip is all I want. For the love of God, man, I can't believe you're even debating this. Do it already. Yes, sir. Naruto started stealthily making his way towards the dividing wall. He was almost within arm's length when suddenly Omoe grabbed Naruto and pulled him back to the other side. Naruto, I wouldn't be a good friend if I let you do what I know you were planning to do. Omoe? If you peek on Karui, then she will cut off your precious parts, and then you won't be able to have children. If you can't have children, then when I have children, they won't have your children to be friends with. Oma, thank you. The two friends embraced each other in a hug while in the water. During their hug, a large dark-skinned man walked into the bath. The two friends looked at the man and then realized what the situation must have looked like to an outsider. It's not what it looks like, the two said in unison as they broke the hug. The dark-skinned man could only shake his head and utter one word. Damn. Later at the testing site, every team that had passed the first phase of the exam was assembled and ready to take the next test. They were all standing at attention waiting for the proctor to show up. She of course made her entrance with as much flair as she did the first time. There was a sudden explosion, and after the dust cleared, Anko could be seen in a thumbs-up position with a different banner behind her. This one read, "The super sexy Kunoichi Anko Mitarashi presents the Forest of Death," written under a chibi drawing of Anko. Alright, you maggots, it's time for you to take the second phase of the Chunin exams. This time it's a survival test. She went on to explain the rules of the test and handed each team their consent waivers. The test was simple. Find a scroll that was the opposite of the one you are assigned in the beginning and take the two scrolls to the tower in the middle of the forest. After everyone passed in their waivers and got their scrolls, the test began. The contestants all waited outside their assigned entrance gate, and once that gate opened, they ran inside. Hinata's team already had a plan thanks to Shino. It was a simple setup: stand out in the open and wait for someone stupid enough to trigger the leech trap they had set up. It didn't take long for some over-aggressive team to fall for it. They were lucky enough to get the Heaven Scroll to go with their Earth Scroll, so they headed for the tower in the middle of the forest where they were supposed to present their scrolls. Hinata was leading the way with her Byakugan when she noticed something. There are two teams of ninja up ahead. They are about to fight. What villages are they from? Asked Shino. One is from sand. The other is from rain, Hinata replied. I think we should check it out. After they're done killing each other, we might be able to jump in and clean house, Kiba said. I don't think that's a good idea, Hinata said. Let's do some recon first. If they are more powerful than us, we'll just leave them, Shino said. Okay, Hinata said, defeated. She really didn't want to waste time on this, but she was outvoted and she didn't have the confidence to put her foot down. The three found a hiding spot behind some bushes and watched the scene unfold in front of them. It was a massacre. The three rain genin unleashed a rain of kunai on the sand shinobi, but it was all blocked by a veil of sand conjured up by the small red-headed boy. That same veil of sand then turned into a tidal wave that snatched up the three rain genin. They were then suspended in the air in three distinct sand prisons. Sand burial, the boy said as he crushed the three genin. As the sand dissipated, a mass of blood and shattered body parts fell from them. The red-haired boy's male teammate ran over to inspect what was left of the three. He butchered them. Kiba could barely contain his fear. We need to get away. Hinata was scared beyond her wildest nightmares. This boy was like a monster. Shino was silent, but he was visibly shaking. We got lucky. Not only is the scroll still intact, but it's the Heaven Scroll we needed. As the boy's two teammates started walking away, the red-haired boy simply stood in the same spot he was in before. He was eyeing the distance as if he was waiting for something. When the two realized he wasn't moving, they turned to him. Gaara? We got what we needed. We can go now, the girl of the group said. No, the one who is coming here is like me. We wish to speak to them. Gaara, what are you talking about? The male asked. Just shut up and wait. A few seconds later, another team showed up. The sight of this one made Hinata even more scared than she was before. And Naruto? She whispered as she watched her crush stand up to the monster she just saw. Yo. I have a message for Shikaku from Kurama. Mother says she wants to hear this message. The two boys slowly walked over to each other, their eyes never leaving the other. A look of anger clearly etched onto Naruto's face. Do you know how to do this? Naruto asked through gritted teeth. Gaara held out his tiny fist and Naruto tapped it with his own. They just stood like that with their eyes closed for a few minutes, no one hearing the internal struggle between their two demons. Kurama, what do you want? Can't you see I was having some quality time with my son here? You call that mindless slaughter quality time? You sicken me, Shikaku. You spit on the teachings of our father. No. You are the one who spits on the memory of our father. When our father died, his teachings were forgotten, and these pathetic meatbags started using the powers of the ninja for war. It is for our father that I've made it my mission to kill all who abuse the power he brought into the world. Not everyone abuses these powers, Shikaku. This boy that I have the honor of calling my partner is one of those. He personifies the teachings of father more than any human I have ever seen. One good human doesn't excuse the rest of the species. Maybe not now, but if we can re-establish father's teachings, we can redeem the human race. Screw the human race. You can preach all you want, brother. I'm still going to get revenge on these weak creatures for what they did to father's teachings. I'll let you go this day, Kurama, only because of the bond we share. Next time you stand in my way, however, I will kill you and the boy you call partner. Gaara broke his fist away from Naruto and started to walk away. We're leaving. Gaara practically commanded to his team as they jumped away, headed for the tower. Naruto stood in the same place with his head down for a few seconds. Omoe and Karui finally walked up to him and placed their hands on his shoulders. Naruto? They both said to him. I'm gonna have to kill him, was all Naruto said as he turned and started to walk away with his team following him. Why did she have to be watching? Now she's going to be suspicious of me later. Don't worry about her. I'll think of an excuse if she brings it up later. You focus on passing this test. Naruto's team jumped away, leaving only Hinata's team hiding nearby. What the hell just happened? Kiba asked no one in particular. I don't know. Shino responded. I think we should go now. Hinata squeaked out. Ch10 rewrite. After the meeting with Gaara and Shikaku, Naruto and his team decided to focus on finding the Earth Scroll to match their Heaven Scroll. Naruto led the way as he used his sensory powers to pinpoint where the enemy teams were. Alright, here should do, Naruto said aloud as he stopped in a small clearing. What the hell are you doing? Karui asked. Relax, it's part of my plan. I can sense a team heading this way. We're gonna set up a trap for them. Not long after Naruto and his squad stopped in the clearing, the same squad of sound genin from earlier happened upon them. In the middle of the clearing, Naruto and his friends sat around a fire roasting marshmallows without a care in the world. Alright, we lucked out. It's the dude who stopped us from shutting up that loudmouth. That punk's gonna regret the day he got in our way, the spiky-haired member of the sound trio said. Don't let your guard down. Those three aren't in the same league as the rest of those weaklings, and we still have to deal with the Uchiha after this. Alright, listen up you two, I have a plan. Zaku, first I want you to scatter them with your special jutsu. After that, focus your attack on the one with the candy in his mouth. Can you focus your long-range attacks at the girl? I'll get in close where the blonde one can't use his chakra chains and take him down myself. Understood? The leader of the team commanded with the kind of authority you wouldn't expect from a simple genin. Understood, Dosu. The other two responded. Flashing through hand signs, the one named Zaku prepared his specialty jutsu and sent a blast of compressed air out of two holes in his hands toward the group of three ninja below them. Much to the three ninjas' surprise, the group below either didn't see the attack coming or chose to ignore it because they were blasted full force by the attack. That wasn't as surprising as the three exploding in a poof of smoke. What the foo-ah? Zaku was suddenly grabbed around the ankles by a chakra chain and pulled off the tree branch the three were standing on. The other two sound ninja turned around to find themselves face to face with Naruto and his team. Zaku was tied up by chakra chains at Naruto's side with a mortified look on his face. How did you manage to avoid our attack? The leader of the group asked. We didn't. Those were shadow clones. Speaking of shadow clones. Suddenly the lone female of the sound trio was also pulled away by a chakra chain. This one was made by yet another shadow clone of Naruto. This clone greatly enjoying the task of tying up his captive. Reminds me of a scene from one of my favorite hentais. The clone thought as he finished restraining her. You are certainly impressive. Don't expect to get me with such a cheap tactic though. As soon as he said that, Dosa spun around and grabbed a chakra chain meant for him and pulled the clone, creating it to him, dispelling it with a knee to its gut. You're pretty tough. Do you think you're tough enough to handle me and my team by yourself? Naruto asked. I'm no fool. Reaching into his bag, he grabbed his team's Earth scroll and tossed it at Naruto. I admit defeat. Take the scroll and release my teammates. I'll take the scroll, but you and your team aren't going anywhere. If we let you go now, a tough guy like you could get 2 more scrolls easy. Omo, carry, go do your thing. You letting us have some fun for once? That's not like you, Naruto, Omo said, unsheathing his sword. Looks like even this idiot can be considerate sometimes, Karui said happily as she also unsheathed her weapon. Both Omo and Karui jumped at the Sound Ninja, who easily blocked their sword swipes with his giant gauntlet. The inside of the gauntlet started to reverberate with sound, and the Sound Ninja used this to his advantage. He used a hand sign with his free hand, and the sound that was reverberating through his gauntlet was focused and directed straight into the ears of Karui and Omoy, who exploded in a poof of smoke. Really? The ninja yelled before he was tackled from behind by the real Omoy and Karui. They slammed into the ground with great force, Dosa taking the majority of the damage and losing consciousness. Naruto and his clone took the other 2 incapacitated genin down to their leader. Well, that wasn't so hard, Naruto said with a big grin. Aren't you forgetting something, Naruto? You still have to seal them, Omoy reminded his scatterbrained friend. Oh yeah? I should probably start that now. Naruto took out 3 scrolls and scribbled down a seal on each one. Naruto made a hand sign and yelled activate, causing the seals to glow and the scrolls they were written on to unravel and cover the bodies of the 3 genin except for their heads. The 3 looked like they were in full body casts, which Naruto found amusing. What the hell is wrong with me? I can't move, Zaka said shocked. It's a capture seal. Handcuffs obviously don't work on us ninjas, so we use seals instead. Shouldn't you guys know this already? It's pretty basic stuff. What the hell are you going to do? Kill us? The one named Kin asked. No, I hate killing. Instead, I'll just leave you guys here. When the test is over in a couple of days, there should be a search party to come get you. What about wild animals and enemy teams? Zaka asked, scared out of his mind. Good point, I got it. Naruto took out another seal and placed it on the ground. That seal is one of my specially made stink bomb seals. If any animals come close, it should go off and scare them away. As for other teams, I'll just leave a note. Naruto took out a piece of paper and scribbled down his note to the other teams. The note said, please leave these 3 alone. They are incapacitated by a seal and have no scroll. Once the test is over, then you can set them free. Naruto then placed the note on the tree above the 3 Sound Ninja. Well, I guess we can go now. That test wasn't so hard. Naruto and his team turned to leave. Wait! Kin yelled. Huh, what is it? Naruto turned and asked. You can leave these 2 here, but take me with you. I'll make it worthwhile. Are you saying what I think you're saying? Yes, I'll do whatever you want, the girl said in a seductive way and even slowly licked her lips for emphasis. I'm flattered, but hell no. I already have eyes for another girl, and to be honest, she's a lot cuter than you. She's a hell of a lot nicer too. Go peddle your ass to another guy, this one ain't buying. Naruto and his team jumped away, leaving the 3 Sound Ninja alone. Wow, I knew you sucked at seduction, but that was just sad, Zaka said, chuckling. Shut up. My seduction technique is amazing. He was obviously gay. Just wait, if we get discovered by another team, I'll have them eating out of the palm of my hand. Wouldn't you rather have them eating out of your? Shut the fuck up, Kin screamed. I'm honestly surprised you didn't take that slut's offer. I'm kind of proud of you, Karui said with a light blush. She wasn't used to giving anyone praise, especially not Naruto. Even if I didn't have eyes for another girl, I knew you'd kick my ass if I said yes. Besides, I could tell she was lying. She was probably planning to run if I let her go. But still, the old Naruto would have at least considered it. Maybe that girl really is a positive influence on you. She has a name, you know. You're right. I'm sorry. So you'll stop busting my balls about her then? Someone has to bust your balls while Sensei isn't around. Teehee, speaking of sis, she's probably having some real fun with Iruka by now. God damn it, Naruto. Surprisingly, Naruto was wrong for once, and Yujito and Iruka were dealing with the first hiccup in their relationship. Don't tell me you're finished already, Yujito said with a hint of disappointment. I couldn't help myself. You're just too good, Iruka responded, somewhat ashamed of himself. I thought after all this time you'd be able to last longer, but you're actually losing it faster each time. I'm sorry. I always thought I was really good at this, but it seems I have a lot to learn. Don't worry. Being a terrible card player isn't the end of the world. You're still great in the sack. Back in the Forest of Death, Naruto got a cheeky grin and looked at Karui. She's probably started playing cards with him by now. You thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? I take back everything nice I just said. Ch11 rewrite. I have to pee, Naruto said as he stopped suddenly. Hold it, we're almost to the tower, Karui said, still a little annoyed at Naruto from before. But I really got to go. I've been holding it since before we fought those 3 idiots. Naruto was now holding his nether regions and hopping up and down like an idiot. Fine then, just hurry the hell up so we can get this test over with. Karui relented. I'll be right back. Naruto tried to run behind a nearby tree, but Omoe and Karui grabbed him by the collar and pulled him back. Are you stupid? Pee in front of us so we can watch your back. You're asking to get ambushed if you go behind that tree where we can't see you, Karui said. BB, but I can't go if you watch, Naruto said, embarrassed. Besides, I can sense there isn't anyone nearby. There aren't any people. What about animals? Omoe interjected. God damn it, Naruto said as he thought about it. There were indeed a ton of animals nearby, and Naruto wasn't about to risk some random snake or something falling out of a tree and chomping down on his fun parts. Fine. Just please don't stare at me. Naruto walked up to a nearby tree and unzipped his fly. He sat there for a few seconds mumbling about waterfalls and powerful flowing streams before he finally unleashed a torrent of bodily waste from his nether regions. He soaked the entire bottom of the tree before he was done. Afterwards he zipped back up and went back on his way to the tower with his team. While Naruto was on his way to the tower, Hinata and her team had already arrived and made themselves at home. Hinata was sitting in a chair reading a little orange book in one of the rooms of the tower. She was told by a ninja stationed there to greet them that it was a room for socializing between the teams, but the only other team at the tower was the sand team, who kept to their room mostly, so she thought it was safe to indulge in her dirty little secret, at least for a little while. Kiba was off bathing with Akamaru, and Shino was off collecting samples, as he put it, which was his way of saying bug hunting. That left Hinata all alone with her favorite book. She loved this particular volume of Ika Ika Paradise because the main heroine was a lot like her. She was incredibly shy and had trouble confessing her feelings to the one she loved, but at the end of the story she finally works up the courage to tell him, and they live happily ever after and start their own clan. To be honest, she really did read them for the story. The sexy bits were just a bonus to her. A bonus that she loved, but a bonus nonetheless. She was deep into one of the dirtier parts of the book at this very moment. So deep, in fact, that she didn't notice someone walk right up behind her. I've done that before. Guys go crazy for that, Enko said as she read from over Hinata's shoulder. Aha! Hinata screamed as she jumped out of the seat and turned around to face the crazy woman behind her. A good thing to remember when you're in that position is to use your mouth at the same time. A lot of girls I know just let their breasts do the work, which is a huge waste. I mean, your mouth is right there, why not use it? IW is J just. Haha, you're adorable. I can see why Kurenai cares about you so much. Why, you know my sensei? Hinata asked, still flustered, being caught in the act of indulging her guilty pleasure. Yep, me and her have been best friends ever since the academy. She asked me to keep an eye on you. Something about her catching a cloud ninja trying to sweet talk his way into your pants. I wasn't really paying attention at the time on account of I was eating dango. She even asked you, Hinata said, looking forlorn. Oh, I see. You actually want that cloud ninja in your pants. Kurenai is twat blocking you. And no, it's not that. I really like him, but I'm not ready for that yet. Good. A pretty girl like you shouldn't give it up so easy. Especially this young. About this cloud ninja, which one is he? Did he make it past the first exam? Hinata was slowly warming up to Enko. She started to smile and talk with her like she would talk to Kurenai. Yes. He was the blonde one who was sitting next to me. You mean the one who couldn't take his eyes off my fat rack? Hinata hung her head down in shame. Yes. The very same. Come to think of it, he wasn't the only one. You were eyeballing my twins too. Do you like both? Be both? The stutter was back. Hinata wasn't comfortable enough to talk about this kind of stuff yet. Hinata's face was the darkest shade of red it had ever been in her entire life. I realized I was bisexual when I was masturbating one night and thought I wouldn't mind doing this to another girl, so I went out to a club, found a girl, and did it. It was pretty fun. Then her boyfriend came home and it got awkward. It was alright though. I ended up spending the night with both of them. Hinata's body fell to the ground with a thud as the shy girl fainted. Damn, I wasn't expecting that. I guess we'll just have to work on that later. Enko slung Hinata over her shoulder and walked off. As soon as she was out of sight, Shino walked around the corner with a face similar in hue to the one Hinata just had. Kurenai-sensei has strange friends, was all he said before he pulled out a jar full of bugs and started searching the room for any more potential samples. He heard some loudmouth start yelling from outside the tower but ignored whoever it was as he was busy scooping up a beetle that he had found hiding under the chair that Hinata had just been sitting in. "We have arrived!" Naruto yelled in excitement as his team walked up to the door of the tower. "Shut the fuck up!" a voice yelled from within the structure. "Who said that?" Naruto yelled back. A window opened to reveal the sand ninja with the purple paint on his face. "There are people sleeping up here, asshole." "Geez, sorry miss. I'll be quiet so you can get your beauty sleep. You need as much of it as you can get." Naruto shot back at the painted boy. "Motherfucker," the sand ninja muttered as he closed his window and shut the blinds. "You're making friends all over the place today, aren't you, Naruto?" Oma joked. "Can we please just pass this goddamn test already?" Carrie said, irritated. The three walked through the door and were greeted by a man who took their scrolls and escorted them through the tower to their rooms. They all walked in and sat down on their beds and started talking. "So we have 4 days to sit here and wait for the rest of the teams. I vote we spend the time relaxing," Carrie said, hoping to convince the training-obsessed Naruto to take it easy for once. "I agree," Oma said, also hoping for some downtime. "You guys are lightweights." "Fine, I'll take it easy too," Naruto said, a little disappointed. "Naruto?" Carrie asked. "What's up? Why are you still here? Don't you have someone you wanted to talk to?" "She's sleeping right now. I'll go see her when she's awake." "That power is bullshit. You're just jealous." "God damn it, Naruto." Ch 12. Hinata awoke to a torrent of ice-cold water bombarding her face. She screamed as she bolted up and took a look around. The first thing she noticed was Anko laughing her ass off standing over a nearby bathtub holding a bucket. Hinata immediately pieced together what must have happened since she fainted. "That's not funny, Miss Anko," Hinata said in the angriest voice she could muster. "You're right, it's fucking hilarious. Ha ha." Anko kept laughing like a hyena. "I'm going back to my room now," Hinata said in an annoyed tone as she turned to leave. "You may want to reconsider that. Unless, of course, you want everyone in this tower to think you take your baths with clothes on," Anko responded in a smart-ass tone. Hinata looked down at herself and realized that her clothes were soaking wet from the water Anko poured on her. She was so mad at her she hadn't even noticed. "Follow me, I have some clothes for you," Anko said with an innocent smile. Hinata, while weary of Anko, followed her out of the bathroom and into a bedroom that Hinata could only assume was Anko's for as long as she was proctoring the exam. Anko walked into her closet and pulled out a pair of black shorts and matching shirt that looked to be about Hinata's size. "Here, try these on," Anko said as she tossed the clothes to Hinata. Hinata caught them and walked into the bathroom where she changed. "Miss Anko, why do you have clothes in my size?" Hinata said as she walked out. "I wear them when I go out to nightclubs. Guys love it when girls wear clothes that are way too tight for them." "Oh. I got some smaller stuff if you want to try and hook up with Blondie while you're here. One of my subordinates told me he arrived a few minutes ago. And Naruto is here. Oh my god, how do I look?" Hinata ran into the bathroom again and stared at herself in the mirror. She looked herself over and decided that she looked fine. Anko's clothes hugged her figure a little tighter than she liked, but it was nothing obscene, so she decided to live with it. "Wow, you really got it bad for this guy. What's so great about him? Does he have a really huge or something?" What? I wouldn't know that," Hinata yelled, once again embarrassed by this woman's shameless attitude. "Don't play dumb. You have those fancy X-ray eye things. You could check out any man's package whenever you want." "I'm leaving," Hinata firmly said with a pout. She walked past Anko out the bathroom and toward the bedroom door. "Fine then. I'm sure you want to find him so you can stare at his foot-long cock some more." Hinata said nothing. She opened the door as calm she could and stepped out. She turned around and looked at Anko for a second before slamming the door shut and almost breaking one of the hinges off. "Ha, that was easy. I'll get that girl out of her shell in no time." Flashback. "I just don't know what to do with her. She's a great kunoichi, but she has no self-confidence. One of these days I'm not going to be there to protect her, and she's going to die out there." Kurinai downed another shot as she talked with Anko during their weekly get-together at Anko's apartment. "And to make matters worse, there's some punk kid from the Cloud Village who I caught asking her out on a date. I think he might be trying to get close to her so he can kidnap her." Kurinai started tearing up in her drunken state. Anko, who was only half paying attention while she was eating a stick of dango, decided to help out her friend. "Your girl is taking the Chunin exams this year, right?" "Yeah. What does that matter? I'm going to be proctoring the second phase of it. If she makes it that far, I'll keep an eye on her so that Cloud guy can't sneak his way into her pants. I'll even help her get out of her shell." "You would do all that?" "Thank you, Anko." "You don't need to thank me. Just take all your clothes off." "You're funny." It was just a joke. You need to lighten up. Flashback end. Now to check out that blonde idiot and make sure he isn't a threat to her. Anko thought as she slipped out of her room and started tailing Hinata. Sooner or later she knew Naruto would show up and she was going to be there to make sure his intentions were pure. Pure by Anko's standards anyway. With Naruto. I'll see you guys in a few minutes, Naruto said as he leaped off his bed to his feet. Z. Almost snored. He passed out not too long ago. Where are you going? Carrie asked, looking up from her book she was reading. Where do you think I'm going? Oh. Don't do anything stupid like get into a fight with her teammates. You worry too much. At the first sign of trouble I'll bolt back here. I promise. With Hinata. Hinata was walking down the hallway to her room deep in thought. The nerve of that shameless woman. Asking me those dirty questions and accusing me of misusing the Byakugan. How could Kurenai-sensei be friends with that woman? Oh god, could Kurenai-sensei secretly be shameless as well? Hinata was torn from her thoughts when she passed by a room that had the door slightly ageki. The door suddenly swung open and she was dragged inside. The fuck? Anko thought from her vantage point on the ceiling. She quickly dropped down and ran into the room. The room was an empty bedroom, but what caught Anko's attention was the open window with a note on the wall next to it. She ran over and read aloud what the note said. Spying on people isn't very nice. Under the words was a picture of a chibi nine-tailed fox giving the finger. You can't lose me that easy, Anko yelled as she hopped out of the window and clung to the side of the wall with her chakra. She noticed that about 3 floors down was another open window, so thinking that was where Hinata disappeared, she climbed down and jumped through. Back in the room, Naruto and Hinata crawled out from under the bed and Naruto started laughing uncontrollably. Ha ha! Did you see the look on her face? She was so pissed off, Naruto said while still laughing. Thank you for getting rid of her, Naruto. She's a friend of my sensei who was asked to keep an eye on me. She's a shameless woman who talks about all sorts of dirty things. Why did your sensei ask her to keep an eye on you? You were one of the first people to get here, so you're obviously really strong. My sensei is really overprotective. She feels like she has to always watch over me. I know what that's like. It took me forever to convince my big sis that I could take care of myself. What did you do to prove yourself to her? I don't know exactly. We were on a mission to a place called the Land of Waves, and after that she started treating me like more of an adult. In fact, I wasn't even supposed to take the Chunin exams this year. Sis convinced the raikage to let me come after that mission. I'm sure if you do good in the rest of the exam, your sensei will start trusting you more. Thank you. You always say such nice things to me. Hinata was starting to get red in the face again. Don't ever stop doing that. Doing what? That blush is so cute. Don't ever stop doing it. Naruto grabbed Hinata and pulled her close to him in a hug. And Naruto? Yeah? You're poking into my leg. The realization dawned on Naruto like a ton of bricks. He had a rock-hard erection. He was so happy to be hugging Hinata that he hadn't noticed. Ha 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 ha. Kurama's laughter made it obvious to Naruto what had happened. Kurama had done this before. He would send a pulse of chakra into Naruto's nether regions, giving him an erection at the worst possible time. You're a real motherfucker, Kurama, you know that. I couldn't resist. Ha 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 ha. Fuck you. And Naruto? Hinata, I'm so sorry. Naruto apologized as he broke away from Hinata. Don't be. I'm flattered. Really? Yes. It means you think I'm beautiful, right? Of course. The two started staring into each other's eyes. Slowly Naruto started to inch his face closer and closer to Hinata's. Their lips were only centimeters apart when they heard a loud voice from outside. Finally out of that fucking forest. Cha! Naruto pulled his head away quickly. Fucking pink-haired banshee ruined the mood. Haha, karma is one mean. Kurama, do me a favor. If I ever fall for a girl like her, kill me. I'd have to be a moron to like an annoying plain-looking girl like that. You got it. No partner of mine is mating with an undesirable like her. Meanwhile in Hinata's mind. Why did Sakura have to ruin the mood? Well, anyway, I was wondering if maybe you wanted to spend some more time together while we're stuck in this tower? Naruto finally broke the awkward silence between the two. I would like that very much. My teammates might get in the way though. Don't worry about that. I can sense the presence of every person in this tower. It'll be a piece of cake avoiding them. By the way, do you want to get some payback on them for the way they dragged you out of the first test? What do you mean payback? I mean some hardcore revenge-style pranks. I'm a master at that sort of thing. I've been pranking Umbus since I was 8 years old. You won't hurt them, will you? Of course not. Only an amateur needs to stoop so low. Okay then. What did you have in mind? And so for the next 5 days the people staying in the tower were afflicted by terrible pranks. Kiba and Akamaru were blasted by a stink bomb and Shino's jar of bugs was replaced by a jar full of bug-shaped gummy candies. Sakura's team had arrived that day as well, and to get back at her for ruining their precious moment, Naruto and Hinata switched the signs on the bathrooms so Sakura walked in on Sasuke taking a leak. Sasuke and Sai stayed locked up in their rooms for the most part, so they avoided the prankster's wrath. The next day Hinata's cousin Niji and his team arrived. Hinata stopped Naruto from pranking him since she didn't want to make her cousin angry. Even if he did hate her and the main branch, she still loved Niji like a brother, and remembered the times they used to play when they were children. The next day Ino's team showed up. They pranked her by replacing all her low-calorie diet snacks with fatty ones like donuts and cakes. Shikamaru just lazed around on the roof staring at clouds all day, so he was spared Naruto's wrath. Naruto actually started to bond a little with Choji. They met in the middle of the night when they both woke up to get a midnight snack and became fast friends. On the final day the silver-haired boy Kabuto showed up with his team. They showed up only minutes away from the deadline, however, so there was no time for them to be pranked. Once the deadline passed, everyone was ordered to come down to the auditorium room so the Hokage could congratulate everyone and explain the next phase of the exam. There was a problem, however, since there was a lot more teams than there usually are, so it was decided that a preliminary elimination round would be held. The proctor Hate Gecko announced that anyone who doesn't feel up to the task should quit right now, since this is where the one-on-one exhibition fights start. 3 people raised their hands. First was the silver-haired boy Kabuto. He made a comment about not feeling up to any more fighting and walked away. Then, much to everyone's surprise, Sai raised his hand. Ino and Sakura were furious, but Sai simply told them it'd be pointless for me to continue, and walked away. The third one who raised their hand was one of Kabuto's teammates. He wore a mask over his face and glasses like Kabuto, and didn't even say a word about why he was quitting. He just up and left. This left 18 out of the 21 candidates left to fight. Please turn your attention to the monitor behind me, the proctor said before turning his head and looking at the monitor that was randomly sorting through the candidates' names. After a few seconds the monitor settled on 2 names. Niji Hyuga and Rock Lee. You are the first match. CH13. I was hoping for the chance to fight you, but I never dreamed it would be so soon, Lee said as he stared down Niji. You've always said that hard work beats natural talent. Today I'm going to show you how untrue that is, Niji said as he activated his Byakugan. Don't bother trying to attack me mentally. You know I'm not one to be intimidated. Fine then. No more words. Just action. Like men. Both young men got into their respective fighting stances. Lee made the first move. He charged at Niji and delivered a flurry of punches which Niji deflected with his palms. Niji then countered with a spinning roundhouse kick which Lee blocked by grabbing Niji's ankle and tossing him away. Niji spun in midair and landed gracefully. Lee was on Niji again instantly, this time with an axe kick which Niji barely dodged. The impact of Lee's kick created a small crater in the floor. It was Niji's turn to go on the offensive. He rushed at Lee and jabbed at his torso multiple times with the gentle fist. His offense was brought to a halt when Lee managed to grab one of Niji's hands mid-strike. Lee twisted his arm into a submission hold. Do you wish to submit? The proctor asked Niji. No! Niji yelled as his arm started glowing blue. Lee suddenly lost his grip on Niji's arm and Niji managed to slip away. Once his arm was free, Niji attempted a palm strike to Lee's chest, who jumped away to avoid it. You expelled chakra from your arm in order to break my hold. Only a true genius like yourself could come up with such a tactic, Lee said with a smile. I'm impressed you've lasted this long. I was hoping to save this for later, but it seems fate won't allow that. Niji shifted his stance. Oh my god! He would really use that technique on his friend? Hinata said, recognizing the stance. It's because he's his friend that Niji feels he must use that technique. Lee, and Niji's sensei guy, spoke up. Niji will never admit this, but he has nothing but respect for Lee. That is why he can go all out against him. To use anything less than 100% of his power would be an insult to Lee. Lee, you're in the range of my 8 trigrams. Suddenly Niji rushed at Lee and started bombarding Lee with a series of finger jabs to points all over his body. 8 trigrams, 2 palms. 4 palms. 8 palms. 16 palms, 32 palms. 8 trigrams, 64 palms. Once his assault was completely crumbled to the floor. It's over, Niji said as he turned to leave. The winner of the match is Niji Hai. No. Everyone was shocked at the sight. Lee was getting up. You should have stayed down, Lee. I can't be held responsible if you get injured beyond repair, Niji stated as he turned around. You were willing to go all out against me. The least I can do is return the favor. Lee started to unfold the bandages on his arms. Once they were loosened enough, Lee got into his stance once again. Your chakra network has been sealed. Even that attack won't be enough to defeat me now, Niji stated arrogantly. We shall see. First gate open. Suddenly Lee's body was filled with an incredible energy. So much energy in fact that his closed-off chakra network was forced back open. What? Niji yelled as he saw this all unfold with his Byakugan. Lee rushed forward with even more speed than before and kicked Niji straight up into the air. Dancing leaf shadow. Lee called out as he appeared behind Niji. His arm wrappings suddenly engulfed Niji's body, holding him in place. The two started violently spinning as they dropped to the ground. Right before they made contact, Lee let Niji go and managed to get to safety before Niji violently smashed into the ground headfirst. Lee fell backwards onto his rear exhausted. When the dust cleared, Niji was in the middle of a crater trying to force himself to stand up. As I expected, you released chakra from the top of your head to cushion the fall. I told you that move wouldn't be enough to finish me. Now that you've used it, you're too tired to fight back. And you're too tired to capitalize. It seems whoever manages to strike the next blow will be victorious. Yes, I believe you're right. Then it's time I go all out. Second gate open. Lee's body is filled with energy as he stands up. Third gate open. Lee's skin turns a dark red color. Fourth gate open. Lee's muscles start bulging and pulsating veins appear all over his body. Fifth gate open. Lee's body is releasing so much power that a crater starts forming under his feet. Aya! Lee charges directly at Niji. Even with all that power, fate is still on my side. Rotation. Niji suddenly starts spinning and releasing a huge wave of chakra in a dome shape around his body. Lee and Niji clash, causing a huge explosion to occur. When the dust settles, both of them are down, but only one is out. I did it, Lee proclaimed as he struggled to sit up. The winner of the match is Rock Lee, the proctor announced. Well, that guy is awesome. I hope I get to fight him later, Naruto said in awe. Brother Niji, he managed to use that technique. Hinata squeaked out, practically inaudible. Guy-sensei, I think I might need to see a doctor. I can't feel my legs. Or my arms. Or my torso. Or my... Don't worry, Lee. That's a side effect of opening that many gates. You should be back to normal in about a week or so, Guy explained as he jumped down to help Lee get up. Just in case, I'll take the two of you to the medics right away. After the two of them were cleared out, and the Hokage used an Earth-style jutsu to fix all the craters in the ground, the next match was started. The second match is Karui vs Shino Aburame. Alright. Go out there and kick some ass, Karui, Naruto yelled, hoping to fire up his teammate. Don't take this guy lightly, Karui. The Aburame are a tough clan, Yujuto cautioned as Karui turned to leave. I've done my homework. Don't worry about me, she retorted as she made her way down to the fighting area where she met with Shino. Ready? Begin, the proctor announced. Shino backed away, instantly covering his tracks with a kunai wrapped in an exploding tag. Karui managed to avoid the explosion, but it succeeded in its purpose. Shino was now at long range, which is exactly where he wanted to be. He unleashed the bugs from his sleeve and sent them directly toward Karui. You think you can beat me with those weak-ass keep-away tactics? Karui said as she flashed through a bunch of hand signs. Fire-style curtain of flames jutsu. She slammed her hands on the ground and a huge wall of fire erupted in front of her, incinerating the bugs Shino had sent toward her. While the wall of flame was still up, she prepared another jutsu. Fire-style flame tongue jutsu. She spat a stream of fire onto the blade of her sword and then dispelled the wall of fire. She rushed toward Shino, who sent another wave of bugs toward her. This time Karui rushed through the onslaught of bugs, using her flaming sword to burn them all. She made it all the way to Shino and attacked with a jumping sword attack. As he was cut, Shino's body split apart, revealing itself as a bug clone he had set up after Karui had summoned her curtain of flame. The real Shino came up behind Karui and locked her in a full Nelson. It's over. As soon as I touched you, my bugs started attaching themselves to your body. If I give the signal, they'll suck your chakra dry. Suck on this, bug boy. Karui dropped her sword and the flames created a ring of fire around the two. The heat was starting to get to Shino and he was sweating profusely. Karui, on the other hand, was perfectly fine. You and your bugs aren't used to this kind of heat, are you? I've trained my body to resist extreme heat so I could sit here all day. Who's got the upper hand now, jackass? Shino let go of his hold on Karui and took a knee. I submit. If I continue the fight, I'll only sacrifice more of my bugs. The winner of the match is Karui, the proctor announced. It was a good match, Shino said to Karui as he walked back up to his teammates. Right back at you, Bugsy, Karui retorted happily as she walked back up to her teammates. Now for the third match, the proctor announced as the monitor started randomly going through the remaining contestants' names again. The next match will be Tenten vs Hinata Hyuga. It's my turn already, Hinata quietly said. Kurenai put her hand on Hinata's shoulder and gave her a reassuring nod. You'll do fine, Hinata. Kurenai bent down and whispered into Hinata's ear. Just pretend your opponent is Anko, and she keeps asking you sexual questions. Hinata's face lit up with anger, and she almost started yelling at her sensei. She managed to control herself, however, and walked down to the fight area. Tenten was already on her way down when she was met by Guy and her two teammates returning. Should you two really be up and about after that? Tenten asked with a hint of worry in her voice. The doctor said we are both fine enough to watch the rest of the preliminaries. Niji responded. Well, you two came just in time for my match. I'm fighting your cousin. You aren't even going to say anything? Forget it then. Tenten walked off with Hinata right behind her. Hinata glanced at Niji, who glanced back at her, but the two said nothing to each other. The two combatants got into their respective fighting stances and stared each other down in the middle of the arena. Right before the match was started, Hinata took one last look at Naruto. Naruto was looking at her with a huge smile on his face. He winked at her, and that one simple gesture filled Hinata with so much confidence that she knew this match was hers to win. Ready? Begin! Hinata took the offensive, immediately dashing straight at Tenten. Tenten was used to fighting the gentle fist style because of her sparring with Niji, so she expected this. She jumped into the air and pulled out a weapon scroll. She sent a barrage of kunai toward Hinata. Hinata pulled out a kunai, and thanks to her Byakugan was able to block all of the kunai sent her way with ease. When Tenten landed, Hinata was on her immediately with gentle fist strikes to her arms and torso. Tenten managed to get a good gut punch on Hinata, and while she was momentarily stunned, Tenten backed away and pulled out 2 more scrolls from her pockets. You're tougher than you look, but no one besides Niji has been able to block this attack. Tenten jumped into the air and her 2 scrolls started to surround her in a double helix. Tenten started pulling weapon after weapon out of the scrolls and tossing them with deadly accuracy toward Hinata. I can't block all of that, Hinata frantically thought. Hinata quickly tried to sort through her options in the seconds she had left. She couldn't block all of those weapons. There were just way too many. She couldn't dodge because the weapons covered way too much area. This is impossible. How could anyone block all of this? No one besides Niji has been able to block this attack. Those words rang through her head, and Hinata knew what she had to do. The rotation was the only technique capable of saving her. The only problem was her father hadn't taught her that technique yet. It's a very chakra-reliant technique, and her father wanted to wait until her chakra pool was larger before attempting to teach her. But Niji learned it on his own without anyone teaching him. I must at least try, she thought before getting into position. She knew the basics of the technique. Simply spin at high speed and release a wave of chakra to create a dome around you. The problem was simply knowing at what speed to spin and how much chakra to use. She decided to just go as fast as she possibly could and release as much chakra as she possibly could. As the barrage of deadly weaponry was about to strike, Hinata steeled her resolve and committed herself to her technique. Rotation, she yelled as she began the technique. She began spinning and releasing her chakra and managed to knock back almost all of the weapons before running out of power. It was enough, however, as she pulled out another kunai and managed to deflect the remaining weapons except for the very last kunai, which embedded itself into her side. Ahhh. Tenten landed and had a look of respect on her face. It quickly subsided when she realized this was her chance to finish the fight, and she rushed at Hinata. Hinata pulled the kunai out of her side and forced herself to stand up. Tenten threw a punch straight at Hinata's head, but she ducked it and grabbed Tenten around the waist. Using her natural flexibility, she bent backwards and threw Tenten up and over her head. She landed with a thud on her back, with the pain forcing her eyes closed. When she opened them, she saw Hinata hunched over her holding a kunai up to her throat. I've seen enough. The winner of the match is Hinata Hyuga, the proctor announced. I actually won? Hinata asked, stunned. She looked up to see Kurenai smiling down at her and was filled with pride. She then snuck a glance at Naruto, who was blushing. Did you see how far she bent backwards there, Naruto? I bet she could contort into some real kinky positions with flexibility like that. I swear to God, Kurama. Don't pretend like you weren't thinking that too, motherfucker. After the weapons were all cleaned up and the monitor sorted through the remaining names, it was time for the next match. Naruto Uzumaki vs Sasuke Uchiha is the next match. Ch14. Hold still while I patch you up, the medic said to Hinata as he healed her wounded side. Thank you? Hinata said to the medic. No need to thank me. It's my job. By the way, you were pretty lucky. That knife didn't go too far in, and it didn't hit anything vital. You'll be just fine, the medic explained. Hinata, you did great, Kiba exclaimed happily. Indeed, Shino said in his usual stoic manner. Hinata, I'm so proud of you. I'm sure your father would be too if he saw what you did, Kurenai said, hoping to instill some more confidence into her favorite student. I don't care what father thinks. Hinata? Okay, that should do it. If the wound gives her any more trouble, send her to the medic's room right away. The medic packed up his tools and left. Hinata, why did you say that about your father? I'm not going anywhere near this one. Kiba thought as he grabbed Shino by the elbow and dragged him away, leaving the two females by themselves. Naruto Uzumaki vs Sasuke Uchiha is the next match, the proctor announced. Hinata instantly perked up. She looked across the room toward Naruto, and their eyes locked for a brief second. Returning the favor from earlier, she winked at him. Yai-ya-ya-ya-ya! Banzai! Naruto screamed as he dove off the railing toward the fighting area. He slammed straight into the ground with a thud and created a small crater with his body. Oh my god! Almost everyone screamed, thinking Naruto had just killed himself in his overenthusiasm to get to his fight. After laying face down on the ground for a few seconds, Naruto picked himself up and said with a huge grin, "Oops. Looks like I really hit rock bottom. Ha 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 ha. Bubba!" The room erupted with jeers for Naruto's stupid prank and terrible joke. Hinata was stunned, but after a few seconds she finally allowed herself a slight chuckle at the boy's antics. Meanwhile, Sasuke was staring down at Naruto with intensity. He not only survived that fall, but he did more damage to the solid stone floor than he did to his own body. This guy may be a clown, but he's a strong one. Sasuke also jumped off the railing, but he landed gracefully on his feet. Ready? Begin, the proctor announced. Sasuke immediately activated his Sharingan and stared down Naruto. Okay, just like Kakashi showed me, Sasuke thought as he attempted to hypnotize Naruto with the Sharingan. He stared directly into Naruto's eyes for a few seconds. I know my eyes are pretty, but do you really have to stare at them like that? Naruto said, getting a little freaked out. What? Why isn't my genjutsu working? Sasuke blurted out. Huh? Is that what you're doing? That stuff doesn't work on me. I'm immune to it. The hell? Do you have some sort of bloodline trait or something? Sure, let's go with that. Naruto put his hands together in the infamous cross-hand sign and prepared to do his signature jutsu. That hand sign, Sasuke thought as he recognized that jutsu. Shadow Clone Jutsu, Naruto yelled as 5 solid clones of him came into existence. You didn't copy it. I guess that means you know about this jutsu then, Naruto said with a hint of disappointment. Shadow Clone Jutsu. By splitting the amount of chakra in your body evenly, you create solid clones capable of recon and combat. Considered a forbidden technique because of the strain it puts on the user's body. Most jonin can't create more than a few without collapsing of chakra exhaustion. You didn't think I would be dumb enough to copy such a technique and tire myself out, did you? Sasuke said in an arrogant know-it-all tone. Honestly, no. You can't blame a guy for trying though, can you? It would have been an easy win if you fell for it, Naruto said with a smirk creeping its way onto his face. Yeah, it would have, Sasuke said, returning the smile. A begrudging respect forming between the two. Alright boys, go do your thing, Naruto ordered to his clones. The 5 clones charged at Sasuke, who kept his calm. He grabbed one of the clones by the arm and slammed him into the ground, dispelling him. A second clone came from behind and grabbed Sasuke in a sleeper hold. Sasuke stomped on the clone's foot, dispelling it just in time to dodge the punch from the third clone. Sasuke grabbed his arm and spun him around, making him collide with the 4th clone. The 5th clone rushed at Sasuke only to be kicked in the head and dispelled easily. Gah! Try this on for size. Shadow Clone Jutsu. This time Naruto created 10 clones who all charged at Sasuke. Fire-style Grand Fireball Jutsu. Sasuke yelled as he ran through his own hand signs and incinerated the 10 clones instantly. Naruto was getting angry that his favorite jutsu wasn't working on this guy. As he put his hands into the cross-hand sign once again, he heard the sound of a fist hitting metal and looked up at his team behind him. You have other moves, dumbass, Karu yelled down at him. Her fist being what made the sound as it slammed down on the metal railing. But I like the Shadow Clone Jutsu, Naruto yelled back. As he turned back to the fight, he saw Sasuke directly in front of him. With a mighty kick, Naruto was sent flying straight into the air. That's my technique, Lee said, shocked. It looks like Sasuke was watching the earlier fights with a bit more interest than I thought he was, Kakashi said with an obvious smile underneath his mask. I hate to see Sensei's son fail, but I have my own students to worry about now, he thought, slightly sad. Dancing Leaf Shadow, Sasuke said with complete confidence. Not gonna work, buddy, Naruto said as he began to take a deep breath. What the? Sasuke watched as Naruto inhaled more air than should have been humanly possible. Once he inhaled so much that his stomach was bulging, he exhaled and created a mighty gust of wind that forced his body back down. He slammed right into Sasuke and the two collided with the ground. Since he was on the bottom, Sasuke took a lot more damage than Naruto did. Naruto jumped up and dusted himself off. God, that move really irritates my throat, Naruto said before having a minor fit of coughs. Sasuke forced himself to stand up. How the hell did you do that? He asked Naruto. Wind style, Naruto responded once his minor coughing fit was over. Wind style? That gives me an idea. Let's see how that wind style of yours stacks up to my fire style. Sasuke flashed through his hand signs again and prepared his grand fireball technique. Naruto did the same for one of his wind techniques. Fire style grand fireball jutsu. Wind style grand gust jutsu. The two boys' attacks collided and Sasuke's immediately overtook Naruto's. Oh shit! Naruto yelled as he watched the now double in size fireball speed toward him. Naruto slammed his hands on the ground right before the fireball overtook him. And that's that. He may have been strong, but his wind style was the worst possible matchup for an Uchiha's fire style, Sasuke said as he walked away. Where are you going? Giving up already? A voice came from the fire that was still blazing. Sasuke turned around shocked. The fire died down, and in the middle was a dome made of woven together chakra chains. The dome disappeared to reveal an unscathed Naruto. I'll admit that you tricked me real good there, but thankfully I was able to make that shield just in time. Sasuke rushed at Naruto, intent to the end match. Naruto was ready, however, and the two boys clashed. Sasuke's style of fighting was a lot more refined than Naruto's, but Naruto's body was significantly stronger than Sasuke's. Even though Sasuke was scoring a lot more direct hits on Naruto, they weren't doing any real damage, and likewise, even though Naruto wasn't getting many clean hits on Sasuke, each one was taking a visible toll on the boy. After they went back and forth for a while, Sasuke backed away. It's like fighting a brick wall, he yelled in frustration. It was fun, but it's time I use my ultimate technique and end this. Transform. Naruto had used his patented sexy jutsu and transformed into his busty female form, this time wearing nothing but an orange bikini that was about a size too small for the female Naruto's sizable assets. Sexy jutsu. You like what you see, Sasuke baby? The female Naruto asked in a sultry voice. Sasuke couldn't respond. His mouth was wide open and his face was flushed. He suddenly took a weird stance and put his hands over his groin area as if he was hiding something. Is that a kunai in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? The female Naruto kept toying with Sasuke. Meanwhile, in the stands, Sakura was furious. I can't get a reaction out of Sasuke no matter what I wear, but this gender-bending weirdo gets him hot just by wearing a bikini and talking like a common whore. Everyone near Sakura started backing away from her at this point. She was so angry she was practically exuding an aura of pure rage. Back with the fight, Naruto got on his knees and started slowly crawling towards Sasuke. Sasuke baby, my hurt. Would you mind massaging them for me? I'll massage you in return. Sasuke was beyond Hinata level of red-faced. His arms and legs were actually getting numb from the lack of blood flow. Sakura had enough of this. She brought her fists down on the metal railing with so much force she actually broke it. Sasuke, I swear to God, if you don't get your fucking mind out of the gutter and kick this freaky slut's ass, I will go down there and rip your tiny little off. Do you understand? You stupid horny little fuck. Everyone watching was taken aback by Sakura's brash and violent outburst. None more than Sasuke, who snapped out of his horny trance and looked up at Sakura. Why yes ma'am, he managed to say out loud. He kept his eyes locked on Sakura for a few seconds after he acknowledged her. Sakura's never yelled at me before. I kind of like it, Sasuke thought to himself as his blush subsided. Too bad for Sasuke that the few seconds he wasted looking up at the livid pink-haired banshee was enough for Naruto to undo his sexy jutsu and rush in for the finishing blow. Yo Sasuke, hold this for me, Naruto yelled as he slapped a seal onto Sasuke's chest. The seal immediately activated, causing 2 chakra chains to fly out and embed themselves into the ground. Naruto then jumped onto Sasuke's back and embedded another 2 chakra chains into the ceiling from his hands. Naruto got a firm grip on Sasuke with his legs and used the chakra chains in the ceiling like a grappling hook to zip up to the ceiling. Once all the way up, Naruto let go of Sasuke, sending him crashing down to the ground, the 2 chakra chains keeping him from escaping. He crashed into the ground with force, but it wasn't over yet. Naruto let go of his chakra chains and dropped down on Sasuke with a devastating drop kick. Sasuke was out cold. The winner of the match is Naruto Uzumaki, the proctor announced. None of the Leaf Genin could believe it. The last Uchiha had been defeated decisively by a complete unknown. Kakashi jumped down and picked up Sasuke. You did well to beat my student. Be warned that he won't take the loss very lightly. Tell him to keep training and fight me again sometime. I'll always accept a challenge from someone tough like him. Naruto turned and walked back up to his team. Kakashi decided to take Sasuke to the medics to make sure nothing was broken after Naruto's finisher. After the Hokage once again fixed the craters in the floor, it was time for the next match. The next match is Kankuro vs Sakura Haruno. Cha! Sakura screamed as she leapt from the balcony and slammed her fist into the ground, leaving yet another huge crater in the floor. Hey-amaha! The Hokage mentally screamed as he knew he was going to have to once again fix that crater. Wow! That girl may look like a toothpick, but she's got some power behind those punches. Kankuro nonchalantly observed as he calmly walked down to the fight area. Ready? Begin! What if Naruto trained by Raikage and Killer Bee? Thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel, and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down, and thanks for watching the video, and see you guys in the next video.